Hershey Park Stadium in mid-December. It is a goal to all football programs in the state of Pennsylvania. Only 12 arrive. It is day one of 3 of the PIAA football championships. We begin our coverage here on PCN with the single A title game featuring Redbank Valley, the Bulldogs. 13-1 on the year. Bishop Guilfoyle, the Marauders, checking in at 10-4. A very pleasant good afternoon and welcome to Hershey Park Stadium. Mike Zambelli, pleased to be joined by Jim Wills. And Jim, the first thing, it's obvious, I think you feel the same way I do. It's certainly nice to be back here in Hershey. You and I had to watch from afar as we did our halftime a year ago. Due to COVID-19, there's a terrific crowd here for this single A game, and they're excited to be back in the stadium.
Yeah, it's really nice, Mike, to see a huge crowd here, especially for a single A game. You see a big, big group of people across from us right now, and it's very rare, and it's nice to have the excitement of people in the stands again.
That group of people across the way belongs to Redbank Valley. They are making their very first appearance in a state championship game as you get a look at third-year head coach Blaine Gold, 29-5, his overall record. Jim, they lost their first game of the year to Keystone, 22-20. They have rebounded to win 13 straight, including last week against Bishop Canevin, by a final of 23-14. Number 2, Joe Mansfield. He is a terrific performer. What kind of impact does this young man have on this afternoon's game?
Well, there's no doubt about it, Mike. He's a disruptor. He comes off that defensive end position. He leads the team with 22 tackles for loss, has 10.5 sacks and 18 quarterback hurries. So they're going to count on him a lot in this ball game today to disrupt that Guilfoyle offense.
First program on a District 9 to play in a title game dating back to 1992 when Smethport made it here. The district is without a winner overall. Turn our attention now to District 6 champion Bishop Guilfoyle under the direction of 11th year head coach Justin Wheeler. They certainly know the drill here. 5th appearance in Hershey, the last coming in 2019. They were runner-up. Their last title was back in 2012. They started this year 1-2. And I think the last thing on their mind was being here, but all of a sudden they have won 4 straight, playing their best football of the year. Jim, talk about Carson Kiesewetter, their first-year quarterback.
Yeah, Kieseweatter's done a great job for him, Mike. He got thrown into that position at the start of the season. He has 1,823 yards passing and 12 TDs, 1,005 yards rushing and 21 TDs as well. He can hurt you with both his arm and his legs, and that's the kind of thing that defenses will have a hard time controlling here in this ball game today.
We'll talk more about his progression throughout the program as our afternoon goes on. These two programs have made their way here to Hershey, Redbank Valley. Their school colors red and white, located on Broad Street in New Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, about 12 miles south of Clarion University, 55 miles from downtown Pittsburgh, 200-mile trip to Hershey here. It takes them about 3 hours and 22 minutes. For Bishop Guilfoyle, they know the route. Their school colors, purple and gold. School was founded in 1922, located on Pleasant Valley Boulevard in Altoona, Blair County. Their boys basketball and girls basketball programs have had great success. So has this football program as well. 142 miles here to Hershey, 2 hours and 16 minutes. Two schools are separated by about 93 miles. If they played one another, it would be about a 2-hour drive. Well, here is their road through the state playoffs as we talk about Redbank Valley first. Beat Union AC 28-21. That was the District 9 championship game at Clarion. Came back the next week and also played there, beating Northern Bedford 21-14, and then a win against Bishop Canevin last week at North Hills High School by a final of 23-14, make their first appearance here in the state championships. For Bishop Guilfoyle, they beat Homer Center 28-0 in the District 6 semifinals. Juniata Valley, a 3-point win in the championship game. That was at Altoona's Mansion Park, and returned there to beat Canton last week by a final of 20-7. So two programs, Jim, two teams arrive on schedule here. Of course, different pedigrees to the two. How do you play into, or how do you factor in the experience that Bishop Guilfoyle brings to this game? And of course, for Redbank Valley, their first appearance.
Well, if you're Redbank Valley, you really got to, address that first appearance, and that's the thing you got to do. And as we talked to Coach before the game, he said, they've told everybody on the team it's the same dimensions, that football field's the same dimensions, the officials are the same, everything's the same. It's just another football game. but I'm really, in reality, it's not. It's hard when you come
far
here
from it.
because this stage is different than any other stage you're going to get on all season long. For Guilfoyle, it's a routine that they've been through. You know, brothers have gone through the program before some of these guys. They know the routine. They have a tradition they want to uphold, and that makes it a little bit different for them coming from the experience side.
Of course, Justin Wheeler knows the deal. This has really been a unique year for them, 1-2 to start the year, but they have rebounded. They made some changes and have this team playing at a high level right now, obviously. This is the Single A championship game. It will be the first of 3 days of coverage. The afternoon games will be 1A, 2A, and 3A through Saturday, 4, 5, and 6. Then will be in the evening. Teams and their captains have now met out at midfield. Let's go down and listen into our coin toss.
Redbank Valley has won the toss. They will receive to start today's contest.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, prior to kickoff, we ask you please rise. Gentlemen, if you please remove your hats. We ask all military personnel who are currently serving, or who have served our great country, please render a hand salute as we honor the United States of America. Salute its leaders, the members of the armed forces, with the playing of the Star Spangled Banner to be played by the Redbank Valley Bulldog Marching Band under the direction of Eli Terwilliger. Ladies and gentlemen, we present with pride and much gratitude our national anthem.
Gorgeous afternoon for state championship football. Mike Zambelli, Jim Wills. Jim, I think we have to address the weather. We've been coming here for many years, and this is about as good as it gets on a Thursday afternoon here in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, one of the best weather situations we've had in a long, long time, especially for these guys. The last time they were here, it was very, very windy, probably about a 40-mile-an-hour gust, and that's how they lost that game on a field goal. It went up in the air and just about made it over for Farrell. So the thing of it is, they're happy that the weather's nice, and I'm sure that Redbank, being their first time here, they want to experience the great weather as well.
Well, and Coach Gold doing something that's not really the norm. He won the toss, and he wants his offense out there first. So we're going to get a look at this offense that has done well this year. They have good balance, 32 rushing TDs, 33 passing TDs. Deep to receive is number 10, Marquise Gardlock, along with Chris Marshall. Marshall is to the near side of the field. Bishop, Guilfoyle just getting ready to break their kick team huddle. Their kicker slash punter on the year is senior Devin Wyatt. He will wear number 10. One of the things to look for this afternoon, Jim, as we do look at special teams, they have been special, and the defense has been for Redbank Valley. They have 13 non-offensive touchdowns, including INT returns, fumble returns, kick and punt returns.
39 forced turnovers on the season, Mike, so you can see why he's receiving the ball here, because he has so much confidence in his defensive unit. That's why it's so rare to see this, but boy, his defense has performed at an ultra level all year long, so that's why he's receiving the ball here on this kickoff.
Head coach Justin Wheeler in his 11th year called punter-kicker Devin Wyatt a terrific asset to have. He is a college prospect, has not made his choices known as of yet. He's perfect on 41 extra points, 7 of 13 field goals, and has scored 62 of their points this year. First of 6 games here from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and a squib kick. That's the respect they have for these special teams. And the up man, number 21, is Aiden Orts on the return. We get a look at the Redbank Valley Bulldogs offense and starting quarterback. He's been quite a story, Bryson Bain. He's a baseball guy, going to go to IUP. First year as a starter, he's had quite a year.
Yeah, he's done a great job. There you see it, 149 for 253. 2,115 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 8 INTs. So a great ratio for a guy who really didn't play much high school football before this year. He's really led them all year long.
They'll run a spread attack. The running back is Brendan Schreckengast. He is a senior, just 5'3", 139. Do not be fooled. He's going to get the call on the first play, and it'll be a play that goes for negative yards. Quickly in there was Dominic Janishak, number 5, the outside linebacker. Here's a look now at the Redbank Valley offense. We talked about Bain. Schreckengast has come on now as their running back. We'll talk more about that. Marshall, Gardlock, Minnick, and Orts give them real threats, Jim, on the outside.
Yeah, they do. And then you see Fisher, Barrett, the rest of those linemen there. Edwards, those guys, those do real well inside. Those are the keys for this game, is the line.
Colby Barrett is one of their key offensive linemen. He is committed to Grove City College, where he will continue his academics and athletic career. First pass of the game comes up a little short, and it's going to bring up a third down and long. This Bishop Guilfoyle defense, big reason they are playing in this football game. Shafari there up at the top at the DM, Bambachi, Butler, Polak Jr., Janishek we've seen already make a play, and their coverage guys are guys that they like in that secondary. They're going to be tested here, and hanging on to the football there is Bain, and Bain is going to be thrown for a loss. So it will be a 3 and out for Redbank Valley.
P.J. Pollock on the stop, 113 tackles on the season. So a great job upside. Colin Campbell in there as well. Those kind of guys are the guys that really have done a great job for this defense all year long.
P.J. Pollock, you mentioned a senior 6'2", 17 tackles for loss. He'll add to that total. Punter is Tate Minnick. Now on for the Bulldogs. Pressure coming from Guilfoyle, and nearly got a hand on that. All kind of bounces sideways, winds up taking a Marauders roll, and they will have their possession right outside the 35-yard line as we get a look at Carson Kiesewetter, a junior, 6'1", 192 pounds, and to quote Coach Blaine Gold of Redbank Valley, he's as good athlete as we've seen at the quarterback position.
And there you see it, that 1823 on the yards passing, 12 touchdowns, 1,005 rushing the football, 21 touchdowns on the rushing side. As I said in the open, he is the man that can beat you with both his foot and with the arm. So that'll be interesting to see how they attack defensively here.
Making a couple of adjustments here, and we'll now go to the shotgun formation. Kiesewetter takes the handoff and a punishing run off the right side. Looked to be Cooper Rother getting the call. Here's a look at the offense for the Marauders. Kiesewetter, we talked about. Janishek Abraham, Shafari, Riley Rother, Rutler, P.J. Pollock. You've already called his name. Hostler, Edwards, and Bender is the right tackle. Colin Butler, a 3-year starter. P.J. Pollock, certainly a college-type athlete. And here is Kiesewetter. He is elusive. And he is going to scramble, needed about 2 for a first down, and I believe he is right on the marker.
You're going to see a tracking gross on the stop, though, but that was before the first down.
Defensively for Redbank Valley, it is indeed a first down, and you talked about the Brendan. You talked about Joe Mansfield in our open, but this is a defense, as you mentioned, has the ability to score points. They get after it. Kale, Gardlock, Marshall, and Orts in that secondary do a good job.
Yeah, they're very, very ball hawking in that secondary. They've come up with a lot of interceptions on the season.
First down of the game goes to the Marauders. Breaking in motion there is Cooper Rother. And it'll be a straight handoff. Drew Abraham getting the call, number 26. Abraham, the fullback in his junior year.
49 rushes on the season for him, 422 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also is a good receiver for them as well. So they're testing the middle of that line here early, Mike. That's the key. And I think that's what Coach Wheeler was talking about before the game. He says we can do a lot of different styles, but we're going to see what style works for us best early as they play very, very tight inside.
Well, they are a run-oriented team and always have been, and right now they're doing a good job. I mean, that's terrific production on first down. They have rushed for 2,600 yards and 36 touchdowns, passed for 1,822 and 12 scores. They're going to put themselves in a 3rd and short, and it is a very short one with the football at the 45-yard line of Redbank Valley.
This is what you want to do if you're Guilfoyle. You want to move the change. You want to see what they react to. And as he said, you know, the quarterback has made some great runs on his own. Casey Weather has done a very good job of making the moves he needs to make at the time.
Well, the tight formation and the direct snap needed 1, and we'll get closer to 5. 1st and 10 Marauders on their first possession of this afternoon's football game.
Yeah, those linemen up front, Edwards, Osler, Pollock, and Butler, those are the kind of guys that are opening up some big holes up front. That's what you need to have happen. And they love to run the quarterback, and then you see one of the only guys in the WPIAL to have 1,000 passing, 1,000 running during the season. So,
well, they've found something that works. They're going to stay with that formation. And the direct snap to Kesey Wetter, looking more like a fullback here, twisting and fighting his way. He has 11 and another Marauders first down.
That's the kind of thing that they want to have happen. You know, they've been very, very potent on the ground. As you see, his eyes are very good. Take a look at how he was going to go one side, went back to the other. He's really a running back playing quarterback, Mike, and you can see his reaction. Does a great job there.
Sam Bambachi, number 56, a defensive tackle, has been used, as now they will spread things out. And this is what has turned it around for Justin Wheeler and this team. He says, we kind of do our deal. When we see something's working, we'll kind of stay with it. Now they have them packed in there defensively, and they go to a spread attack. Cooper Rother on the inside handoff.
They tried to get a little bit of a delay until they can get upfield, but they couldn't get through that first wave, and that's the key for Redbank Valley. That's a stop. Nice job there coming off as Chris Marshall, the guy we talked about in the open, comes up with that stop. He's 3 times All-State. He's been very, very successful coming off that edge.
Rather for Bishop Guilfoyle, one of the young men who was a starter back in 2019, that overtime loss to Farrell in the wind here at Hershey Park. Kesey Wetter once again. This is going to be one of those games, Jim, that, that's a successful play. That's close to 4 yards. That's really what you want. I mean, they're just going toe-to-toe right now. You're looking for 4 yards when you run plays like this.
Yeah, you saw Anthony Edwards, number 51, taking on Mansfield off that corner. That's a key block right there. You need to contain him. You don't let him get in that backfield because he's very, very dangerous when he can get in that backfield.
There's that full house look. 56 Bambachi is in on the left side. This time Kesey Wetter is going to be, well, he might have picked up a yard before being knocked back. Chris Marshall, the senior defensive back, in on the play.
There you're going to see Marshall bouncing from the inside out. That's the key. He wanted to get that ball to the outside. He thought he could take that a little bit further, but Marshall closed on there very quickly.
Well, number 9, a big hero in their win last week in the semifinals. Better than 90-yard interception return for a touchdown with his team down 14-7. They are calling it one of the biggest plays in the program history, and that hold makes them settle for the field goal attempt, which is wide left. So a bend but don't break for Redbank Valley. We are underway in the PIAA State Championships. No score here between Redbank Valley and Bishop Guilfoyle.
For over 25 years, PCN is proud to bring you exciting moments of Pennsylvania sports. From touchdowns to double plays to the butterfly stroke, PCN brings all the action right to you. PCN is a 501c3 nonprofit television network that receives no state or federal funding. Please consider a tax-deductible donation today. PCN is Pennsylvania Sports. It doesn't matter what part of the state you're from. One thing is certain. Pennsylvania loves sports. On the first Friday of the month, PCN takes you inside the lines at 6:30 p.m. PCN delivers insight from the people who cover sports from every corner of the Commonwealth. From high school to college to professional sports, PCN takes you inside the lines. Learn more at PCNTV.com.
A reminder to refuel with chocolate milk. The American Dairy Association Northeast is proud to sponsor the 2021 PIAA Football Championship scoreboard. Welcome back to Hershey Park. Single A game this afternoon. 4A championship tonight. 3 days of state championship coverage, 6 classifications, and there's quite a lineup. We'll talk about it more as our afternoon goes on. So the Redbank Valley defense stiffens and keeps Bishop Guilfoyle off the board. The offense now will take over with their second possession. Forced to go 3 and out first time. This pass will fall incomplete. Tate Minnick, the intended receiver.
The slot receiver on the season, 39 receptions, 524 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Trying to get a quick hitter to the outside, trying to take away that Guilfoyle rush.
Blaine last week was 15 for 29, 149 yards. You talked about him, Jim, and he was with the program, got away, and actually went to Coach Gold and asked if he came back out, if he'd have a legitimate chance to try and battle for the starting quarterback spot, which he won over Gunnar Mangentini. Mangentini is number 1 and a big part and one of their captains on the team. So they did have a good battle, but he did wind up, and Coach told him, he said, you'll get a legitimate shot at it, and Bryson Bain has turned it into some kind of a year, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's done a great job. Last week he started off a little shaky. 7 out of his 8 first passes were incomplete, but then he settled down, did a great job the rest of the game.
He's being asked to make a big play here. That flag thrown to that pass thrown to the near sidelines. Bishop Guilfoyle claiming for intentional grounding. Again, the new rule in high school football, which we really didn't see. And it doesn't matter if there's a receiver there or not. If the referees or umpires view that you threw it to avoid a sack, I think that's pretty obvious. They might have gotten away with one there.
Yeah, P.J. Pollock was in there. A lot of pressure coming in again, and that's the thing. That's why they were throwing those quick hits before that, so they wanted to get that ball out quickly again, but at times a little questionable.
Minnick punting for the second time in the game, end over Nkek. Courageous job there by number 13, Cooper Rother. Mishandled it for a moment, but great field position on the exchange of punts. Marauders with their second possession.
You can see number 1 there. Gunnar Mangentini knocked that ball out a little bit, but he recovered. That was a very good play on special teams by Redbank Valley. They did a nice job of getting down.
Well, that's what they're good at, Jim. You talked about it. They have returned 4 fumbles for touchdowns, 2 interceptions for touchdowns, 5 punt returns, and 2 kick returns. We've already seen the respect that Guilfoyle is showing their special teams. Take over right at about midfield. Not much happening here. Fine defensive play coming up there is Ashton Kale, number 6. He's only a sophomore. Getting the carry was Drew Abraham.
Drew Abraham, the fullback, 49 rushes coming in, 422 yards. Didn't have any opportunity to get to the outside. But again, against this defense, it's very, very hard. As we talked about, that's why, Coach Gold made that decision with the kick in the beginning of the game. He's so confident in this defensive unit.
Kale, by the way, 4 punt returns for touchdowns on the year. He just made that play defensively. Here's Guilfoyle in a breakdown defensively, and he makes him pay for it. It is the unscripted plays that head coach Justin Wheeler talked about with this guy. He says it makes him so special.
He is. He's such a good athlete, and that's the thing. They've had him at wide receiver last year, and now he comes up at quarterback this year because of an injury. So the situation is he can really adapt, and he's gotten better and better as the week's gone on, as Coach Wheeler said.
21 yards on the carry for Guilfoyle. Mentioned his athleticism. He's also a part of their basketball program. Takes the direct snap here and hands off to Rother. Rother was a freshman starter in the 2019 team. He's now a junior, 5'11", 180. Twice this year, he has rushed for over 100 yards in a game. So it's about establishing that line of scrimmage for the Marauders. They've moved the ball pretty well in this opening quarter.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. And like we talked to Coach before the game, he had to replace 10 starters on defense and 9 on offense. So this is a lot of new guys. It took a lot of time to get together. But once they've gotten together, they've really done a nice job of making things happen here in this final stretch.
Pretty good surge there. Rother runs into Chris Marshall. Watch number 9 there, middle of your screen.
Yeah, he's got a nose for the football. That's the thing about him, getting some PSAC interest. Does a nice job with 35 tackles coming in. So he knows where that football is at all times. He does a great job. They put him back at safety a couple of weeks ago. He was at the linebacker position, but they put him back at safety, and he's been very, very productive there.
4 interceptions on the year, including that one we referenced last week that they will talk about for a long, long time. Good gang tackling here for Redbank Valley. Rother again getting the score. It's going to depend on forward progress. It's pretty close, and it is going to be a Bishop Guilfoyle first down.
Well, we talked about the guard lock there. He's done a good job coming up from his position as well. The thing of it is with him, he's been in that D-back position. So their D-backs are very, very proactive, get up to the line of scrimmage quickly, get some hits on the people coming into the line.
Rother again, the deep back. Guilfoyle with a change of direction, and that's good discipline defensively. Brendan Schreckengast was the first man there, the senior two-way starter. How about Schreckengast? He's their starting linebacker, 5'3", 139. Don't be fooled, folks.
No, he does a good job, and you can see him. He holds his own. What they do very well is hold their own. Look at everybody's in position. When you saw that look right there, you saw every white jersey in the position they should have been in defensively, and that's a credit to Coach Gold. He's the defensive coordinator, so he does a great job with these guys defensively.
That's a negative play turned in. 108 tackles for losses on the season for this defense, including 28 sacks. So we've talked about their ability to take the ball away, and now Guilfoyle will spread it out offensively. Guilfoyle with time and has a receiver to the 5-yard line. The pass is complete to Colin Campbell. The senior has it first and goal inside the 5.
Only his 6th reception of the year, came in with 5 for 63 yards. But the thing of it is, that tight end release coming across the middle, that was very, very nice. Put it right in the spot they needed to. Very good play, very good call by the offensive staff.
Well, this is vintage Bishop Guilfoyle. They get you drawn in defensively. Now they're back to that tight set. And when they spread you out, they're effective with it. Guilfoyle with the football. He is not in. They're going to spot him down inches shy of the end zone.
You take a look at that. They are really bunched together inside. They try to squeeze it. He just gets turned sideways right before the goal line. An opportunity there to get in, but number 51 did a nice job there. Zeldin Fisher, the linebacker, to come in and make that. He has 93 stops on the season.
Well, that's about as tight a formation as you can get. Now Guilfoyle up under center in a scrum. They only needed a couple of injuries, and it is a touchdown. Bishop Guilfoyle. They take the early lead.
Well, they did what they needed to do. Get that situation established up front with the line as tight as you can be. They packed him inside, and he just follows that whole surge of that pack to go up the middle of the field. Take a look at it here. He just steps under center, and he just follows. As a nice job by, number 53, the center, who does great work. As we talk about centers all the time, Ryan Hostler does a great job of really giving that hole to him.
Devin Wyatt on for the point after. He is now 42 for 42 on the year. It is 7-0 Bishop Guilfoyle. Well, we've been talking about Keezy Wetter, and get a look at this possession. Did it with a combination of things, Jim. Good defense, nice punt, good coverage, and you wind up getting good field position to work with.
But they do a good job of managing it. He does a good job of managing the game. He knows his limitations, and he knows how he can get himself into better position. And that's the thing right there. And they know that when they need that 1 yard or 2 yards, they're going to put themselves in that tight position, and he's going to respond for them.
Jim, we've talked about Carson Keezy Wetter, and he's a young man that the program really liked what they had. But if all was going to go the way they thought, Hayden Garner was going to be their quarterback this year. He's a senior. He was an all-state wide receiver. He's being courted by PSAC programs. He was going to be their starting quarterback despite his great play as a wide receiver. Suffered an injury at the beginning of the year. As you can see, he's in uniform here. Probably not going to see him. He's suffered an ACL injury, but they've made it to this point without him. But what they did is they turned to Keezy Wetter and said, hey, it's going to be you, and you're going to have to do it ahead of schedule. It's obviously worked out, but you really got a feel for a guy like Hayden Garner.
Yeah, it's a shame. You know, he hurt himself. He got operated on after the third game of the year, and you know, the thing of it is an ACL injury, so he's out. He knew he was out for the rest of the year, but he is one of the best athletes, Mike, and they were going to have him at the QB position.
Here's an attempt at an onside kick, and that ball was loose, but fortunately for Redbank Valley, did wind up going out of bounds. Marauders had a shot at it. I like what they're doing. You can't kick or punt the ball to this team for Red Valley. So why not take a shot at recovering an onside kick?
Yeah, they've done a nice job of really, making themselves better with some good field position.
Kick out of bounds against Bishop Guilfoyle. Redbank Valley has elected to take the penalty with the 5-yard addition as a result of the kick out of bounds. First down.
Joe Kulik, this afternoon's referee. Ronald Gregory, Eric Atkins, Michael Tucci, William Kennedy, Alexander Carabin, and Dan Cano. Working the single A state championship football game. First quarter being dominated, time of possession 9:27 to 2:07 for Redbank Valley. Redbank Valley without a first down yet in this game.
Yeah, the thing of it is they need to get themselves to move the chains here a little bit, get some confidence, Mike. They really haven't been able to run the football, which is what's going to be frustrating for them right now. They've been in a lot of situations where they're behind the chains and they need to throw the ball, so they need to get the run game established a little bit here.
Time will expire. We have played one. It is Bishop Guilfoyle 7, Redbank Valley nothing.
I officiate PIAA sports, and I am an accountant.
I officiate PIAA sports, and I'm a teacher.
I'm a PIAA basketball official, I'm a firefighter, I'm a father, and I'm also a fan. I think it's easy for people to forget that we are regular people, that the same people that I'm refereeing, my kid plays with those kids sometimes. My kids play in the same league as these kids.
One of the greatest aspects of officiating is building relationships with the partners you're working games with, getting to know them as people, and also building relationships with the players and the coaches that are on the field with you every game.
These kids work so hard day in and day out, and you get to watch the benefit of them getting a new personal record, them making that bar that they've been dreaming of for weeks, and you get to have a front row seat to witness that every single day.
Bishop Guilfoyle's last championship coming in 2016. Got a touchdown there from Andrew Irwin. There is Evan Chadburn, who was a great story that year for them. And Josh Tribus going to come up with a late game interception. He was also their starting quarterback, 17-0. And Jim, how about those three guys? Tribus recently received his degree from the Penn Wharton School of Business, played football there. Andrew Irwin just graduated from Harvard on Friday night. Evan Chadburn is currently at Lehigh University, and he was a big story that year. His junior year, he was the player of the year in the state of Pennsylvania in this class, but injured for his senior year. He came back to play and played great. As you saw right there in the state championship game, it was a tough year for him, but no wonder those guys went that 3-year run with 3 straight titles and a 47-0 record, huh?
Yeah, they had some great players and some smart players, as you can see, with the Harvard, Wharton School of Business graduates that we talked about and the Lehigh connection with Chadbourne. They did a really good job, and that was a great team to watch, and that was the year that Clarendon was on that win streak, and they broke that win streak against them.
Well, they played their kind of football, controlled the line of scrimmage, obviously. You see the zero defensively, but a lot of that had to do with their ability to control it on offense. Redbank Valley looking for a play here. Marquis Gardlock had broken free there for a moment. Gardlock's a terrific athlete, senior. He's being courted by some PSAC schools as well, but that's going to be another inability to convert on 3rd down, and it'll bring the punting unit out again, and pretty much pressure now on that Redbank defense.
Well, what's happening, Mike, is they're not being able to contain P.J. Pollock, and he's getting a lot of inside pressure, forcing Bain to really throw it a lot quicker than he did. That time he had an open receiver, but he had to throw it too quickly.
Minnick, the punter, line drive kick, and Rother kind of sidesteps it. And in pursuing the football, it looked like Gunnar Mangentini hurt himself, may have rolled an ankle the way he acted with it. And now looking at that knee. Let's see what happens here.
And you can see he has that brace.
And he just kind of gave out on him.
Yeah, it just grabs that other knee.
That's a shame. And we talked about this young man. He was in that battle for that starting quarterback position. He's just a terrific individual. I'll tell you, they don't list him as a starter on either side of the ball, but he's one of their captains. I think that shows you what the team thinks of Mangentini and what he's done. 5'11" senior, 211 pounds. We hope that's not as serious as it might look right there.
Yeah, the thing of it is, he's done a good job for them. He took a back seat. He was going to be the starting quarterback, as you said, and then Bain comes back, and then all of a sudden you get relegated to a different role. But he's been a good team player, and that's what you like to see.
Not only that, he had a critical pass completion during the run to the state championships. It just tugs at your emotional strings right there when you see that. That's an unfortunate part of this sport of football. Terrific young man. They have a lot of memories. Hopefully we have not seen the last of Gunnar Mangentini. He's completed 11 of 21 passes on the year, 3 touchdowns, 1 during the playoffs, 25 carries, another 3 touchdowns there. So he found a way to be a factor for head coach Blaine Gold's team. But they need something to happen here. This defense has given up 15.7 points a game, but had a rough time stopping Guilfoyle this afternoon.
And this is what, you see. This is the kind of thing, the eyes and the vision. Kesey Weather, that's the thing that he does best. He just takes a look and sees what they're offering and then does what he wants to do. As Coach said, we were talking about with the coach before the game, his ad-lib runs this year have been really, really successful. And as the year has gone on, he's become more and more confident in his ability to get upfield.
Oh, the numbers throwing the ball, Jim. I mean, I think it's part of the play calling as well. He's completed 63% of his passes. First-year guy in this level of football, that's some pretty heady stuff. Rother is the motion man. The second back gets the call here. This is number 34, Caden Wyant. Wyant is a sophomore, just 6 carries on the year, 41 yards. But the 10th grader getting an opportunity here in the state finals.
You see a flag on the play. It's been a very clean ball game so far. This looks like the area where it would be a hold.
Holding, number 82 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
Justin Wheeler, 115, 29, and 3. 1991 graduate of Penn Cambria High School, Penn State University, 1996. We're going to hear from Steve Degler and Brendan Noble at halftime coming up. Coach Wheeler and Mr. Noble have a little time together.
Yeah, they had a little hug there before the game.
Yes.
Spent a lot of time together at Penn State.
Former Nittany Lions. They empty the backfield. And Guilfoyle on the quarterback keeper. That's soaked. Quarterback draw, he needed 12. He picks up 14 and a conversion to move the markers.
Now you see how they spread them all out, but look at the good blocks inside. You see there, and that's, Hostler and then, Pollock. Those guys inside have done such a good job of blocking. That's the key, is they open up that hole. He had a real nice lane to run up through there that time.
And the other thing that Bishop Guilfoyle, their schedule predominantly against AA schools or bigger. The only single-A team in their regular season roster was Bishop McCourt. So they're constantly being tested against some really good programs. Guilfoyle, and that's what it's going to be. Run right, run left, spread them out, let them throw a pass or two, and this young man has been able to deliver.
Yeah, and just when you lull them to sleep, they're going to come up with that play action or that tight end release like they did in that other drive, and that's the kind of things that Coach Wheeler wants to do. He doesn't get fancy with it, and as he said, the good thing is that Guilfoyle has been better and better every single game down through the playoffs.
He talked about those 3 straight years where they went 47-0 and won 3 straight titles. Coach Wheeler was the single-A coach of the year in each of those 3 years. Not sure where this game's going to take us this afternoon, but the way they have overcome the adjustments they have made to be in this position, I don't know that this isn't his best coaching job.
Yeah, when you talk about coaching and, sometimes when you get a lot of talent, coaching gets a little overrated, but when you don't have a lot of talent, you got to make a lot of adjustments like he's had to do. They've done a good job this year, and he would be a tremendous candidate for Coach of the Year.
Rather on the reception, Marquise Gardlock up out of coverage to make the tackle.
Now they give you a little bit different look there is they give a little quick pass out of the backfield, but then they're going to go right back to that strong formation where they bring everybody in tight. And they're just going to pound it at you.
Correct myself in that last one. That was Riley on the reception, a young man that Coach had high praise for. Really playing his best football of the year. He's one of those guys they had to move around. Now they go to that power on the right side. Pretty simple stuff.
And you can see that when they get there going, they're guys going inside, that they've been very successful up there from that tight formation. And that's the thing. They give you a little bit different look, but most of the time it's just going to be straight power.
8:42 to go to halftime. The lead is only 7-0, but it certainly feels like it's a lot more than that. This entire first half has been played at the pace that Bishop Guilfoyle has wanted. They missed a 38-yard field goal attempt on one drive that stalled. But 7-0 to this point. How important, Jim, at this point is for them to get more points out of this first half?
Well, the thing of it is, Coach Wheeler has them do a nice job of playing within themselves. He doesn't want to do a lot of fancy things. He's very big on ball control. He wants to establish that line of scrimmage, and that's what he's done here in this first and second quarter. And the thing of it is, they need to get some more points, but the thing of it is, they're going to do it their way, Mike, which is this way here. Either power, this time you're going to get a look out of the shotgun, a little bit different this time.
This is rather on the sweep. Gets it out across the 45-yard line.
The thing of it is, and that's the thing when you look at it here, they're running into an outstanding defense, one of the best defenses in the state of Pennsylvania, especially for the single-A level. And that's the thing right there, that they're just trying to methodically pick and choose all the way through.
We'll bring up a third down. It's a little less than 2. Guilfoyle look to have enough. It's kind of right at our vantage point, very close, but it will be another first down for Bishop Guilfoyle.
You see some good blocking up front again. They bring other guys in. That time Noah Ritchie came in to block as well. He's a backup offensive lineman. Those are the kind of things you need to see people come inside and give you help, because it's a lot of banging inside. There's a mix-up on the pickup there, but there's going to be a flag on the play.
Looked like
Prior
there
to the
was
snap,
some movement.
dead ball foul. False start, number 51 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
We were watching warm-ups, Jim. The Marauders were a little jumpy on a number, just even in warm-ups, as we were watching them prior to kickoff.
And that's exactly who that penalty was on, Mike. The man we saw jumping a little bit too quick in the warm-up. So transcended right into the game action.
Moves the football back to the 42-yard line where it'll be 1st and 15. And Guilfoyle with that hard count might have just gotten the 5 yards back.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
We're not going to get anywhere at this pace, are we?
The thing I was going to say, Mike, is that Redbank Valley's used to being behind. They've been behind in all 3 of the playoff games down the stretch. And the thing of it is, we talked to Coach about that, and he said, they just have that tenacity to get themselves back in the ball game. So this is not an unfamiliar position for them, because they really struggled with a couple of games of being behind.
Here's Rother again. They're just having great success on first down. I mean, it's going to be a long afternoon for Redbank Valley if Bishop Guilfoyle keeps picking up 7-8 yards on first down.
Now you see, again, they're getting a good job. Anthony Edwards did a nice job of bouncing to the outside with his block. The other thing, Mike, is the defense for Redbank has been on this field an awful lot here in this first half.
Well, and they are a lot of two-way starters, 7 of them total for Redbank Valley. But anybody will tell you it's a lot tougher to play defense in terms of the emotion and the energy that you use than it is to be on the offensive side.
And especially for those up front guys that you have for Redbank Valley. Those are the guys that are really, time in and time out, are really taking that beating up front, because this has been a physical game up front. So that's the kind of thing that you're going to see them really wearing down a little bit up front.
There's Zeldon Fisher again, the 6-foot junior, 93 tackles. 3rd down and short. You almost have to think, if you're Redbank Valley, you might have to stop them on 2 plays here if you do come up successful here. Just on the edge of 4-down zone. Guilfoyle is going to keep him himself, dodges a defender, and he's got first down yardage.
See, he's so dangerous out of that shotgun too, Mike, with his vision. You can see how he just picks and chooses his holes. You can see him right here as he takes a look and he goes to the right. Now he says, oh, there's an opening back to the left. I'll just skirt up through this slot right here, and he gets himself the first down.
First down, moves the ball inside the 40. Spotted at the 39-yard line. 4 and change to go here opening half. Sweep this time to the right side, and again a first play that is going to produce better than 5 yards for Cooper Rother.
That's what keeps them in line. That's what Coach Wheeler wants to have. He wants to be ahead of the chains, and he's done a great job of doing that here in this first half, because of the situation is they run tight. They really don't do anything different. They really give you that same look most of the time, but they do a lot of different things out there. That time a little bit of a delay got them a bigger gain.
Head coach Blaine Gold, he is also their defensive coordinator, and here they got a little penetration, and that time a better job, but when you only need 4, it's still going to be a positive play and another first down for the Marauders.
Casey Weather's going to set a single-A record here this afternoon, Mike, with the amount of attempted rushes and carries, because he is just on fire with this right now.
Well, 21 rushing touchdowns on the year. He's thrown for another 12. When you do the math, this is a much-needed timeout here. As the clock, they let a couple of seconds tick off. I think they're going to put a few more back on there.
We were talking about, the thing of it is being behind, but the thing is you got to score some points to get yourself a little confidence on that Redbank Valley side. That's the key.
Blaine Gold in his 3rd year, 29-5. He's a teacher at Redbank Valley. Senior class, he teaches economics and government. He's a graduate of Franklin High School, class of 2007. Went to Grove City College, where he played D-end and linebacker. Graduated in 2012. He is a delightful young man to talk to. So proud of these young men. And the school's history, we talked about football-wise, never being in this. There has never been a team of any kind at Redbank Valley play for any kind of a state championship. And we talked about the crowd here this afternoon for a single-A game. I think the whole town is here in support of these youngsters, and well, they should be.
I would agree. That's one of the reasons why you see so many people over on that side there, because it's the first time that any sport has gone to a state championship event.
They've been to the quarterfinals. The boys basketball team, the football program was. State semifinals a week ago was the first, and now obviously this another step beyond. But again, successful play on first down. I mean, usually your barometer, Jim's 4 yards. They have to be averaging close to 6-7 yards on first down in this game.
Yeah, take a look at, see how they're getting some good blocks up front. That's the key. And they're really taking advantage of that on first down. And they're setting themselves up that they can run anything they want then on those next 2 downs.
Give them 7 on that first down run, and keeping the football away from that explosive offense. Guilfoyle offense averaging a little better than 27 a game. Here's a good effort defensively by Redbank. Breaking in there was number 55, Colby Barrett. Talked about him. He's going to his coach's alma mater, Grove City College. Senior 5'9", 254.
That time he got around his block. He did a good job of maneuvering inside. 51 tackles, 13 tackles for loss on the season for him. So he's done a nice job from that nose position.
This is play number 15 of this drive. Kiesewetter nowhere to go, and I'm not so sure he got there. He did not. This is going to bring up a big fourth down in this football game.
Be interesting to see here now as, again, they got good penetration that time. They really did a good job, and you saw number 3 come in there. Schreckengoss, he did a good job. Mike talked about him, not real big in stature, but boy, he came shooting in that linebacker spot, did a great job on that stop.
We talked about Colby Barrett. He's their nose guard. I mean, you need to get penetrate. You need to win the individual battles on the line of scrimmage. I'm going to think that Bishop Guilfoyle's letting this clock wind down here. Play clock's at 2-1, and they are going to talk about it with 1:46 to go here till half. Trying to add to a 7-0 lead. We'll be back with more. You are watching the Single A PIAA Championship game live on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
Stadium lights are going out. The bleachers are empty. The reason? No officials. When fans are disrespectful to the calls on the field and those who make them, it is a hard position to fill. Show your support for your PIAA officials by demonstrating respect. Let's all work together so the game is great for everyone. A PCN Select subscription is more than a single championship. It's a year of Pennsylvania sports. PCN Select is a great value for all seasons. Previous PIAA championships, sports profiles, Inside the Lines, PA books about Pennsylvania sports, and PCN Sports Classics, all on demand. Check out PCNTV.com for more details. PCN is Pennsylvania sports.
Bishop Guilfoyle with a 7-0 advantage here. Time winding down. Stay with us at the half. Steve Degler, Brandon Noble will be joining us to take a look at what we're seeing here in this first half. And what we are seeing, Jim, is Bishop Guilfoyle dominate that line of scrimmage, faced with a big 4th down and 1. If Redbank Valley can get a stop here and get out of this half down 7-0, somewhat of a moral victory for them.
That is exactly what you would need to do if you're on their side. That would be a very, very good victory for them. But they need to stop this now. They haven't been successful a lot of times stopping that quarterback keeper. So we'll see what happens here as they set up in the shotgun.
Yeah, they're going to spread the offense. Kiesewetter, this would lead you to believe you're looking at some kind of a quarterback sneak or quarterback draw. Kiesewetter is going to keep it, and I don't think he got there. He tried to get it off left tackle or left guard, and there was penetration, and it's the young man we talked about, Colby Barrett, with the play of the half for them.
Yeah, Colby Barrett and Mansfield come in to do really a nice double team. You see Mansfield come off the edge. Look at, now there's the problem right there. Guilfoyle had a breakdown. If you're going to block anybody on the field, you're going to block Mansfield. And they miss blocking Mansfield. He's right there to make the stop. Mansfield is the young man you talked about in our open. He's been awarded all-state recognition in 3 different times throughout his career. A 6'2 senior,
36 sacks in his career is a school record, 22 tackles for losses this year. Well, we talked about the big play that Chris Marshall made last week. Joe Mansfield just added to it with that fourth down stop. Now can they get anything going offensively? They are still without a first down in this football game.
Got the ball outside the Tate Minich, but they're in hurry-up mode right now with under 1:30 to go here, so they got to move down the field quicker. They're going to do a lot of quick outs on this drive.
Minich, 39 catches, 524 yards, and 7 scores. He's one of their playmakers, as now they're getting an opportunity to try and loosen things up. Here's a sweep as they toss it to Marshall. Marshall fighting for first down yardage is going to be a few shy. They are in hurry-up mode as the clock races towards a minute. Bain checking with the sidelines. They empty the backfield, and now a whistle and a timeout. Charge to Bishop. Guilfoyle comes with 56 seconds. And I'm going to guess that Justin Wheeler didn't like the way the tempo of the game had started to pick up.
Yeah, exactly, Mike, because they were dominating the tempo as we talk about time of possession. You talked about that many times here in this first half, and the ability to just do what they wanted to do. Well, here now it's starting to get away a little bit. A success from that quarterback position with Bain, a couple of good completions, and the thing of it is they'll be right back in this ball game. It's still only 7-0.
What an exciting 3 days we have planned for you here on PCN, the state championships. Among the 12 teams this year, we have 5 past winners, including 3 that are looking for repeat performances or beyond in case you're Southern Columbia or St. Joe's Prep. We have 1 rematch, and of course, the story is always 4 programs with an opportunity to win their program's first ever state championship, and one of them here is Redbank Valley. The Bulldogs trying to stave off a tough first half for them. I mean, your time of possession prior to this possession was 19 minutes, 18 seconds to 2 minutes, 56 seconds, but yet just a 7-0 lead for the Marauders.
And again, you nod to their defense because we talked about that so many times. Their defense is so very, very good. They've been able to contain them to 7 points, so that's a great thing for them in this first half.
Ben Bedot break, pretty important conversion here. Bain checking with the sideline. He's now joined by Schreckengast in the backfield, but he's looking to throw and does so in a fine catch by Chris Marshall. Throw was a little behind him, and he still made the reception.
Well, the thing that helps Bain is that 6'3" frame. You can get to see a lot over that middle of that line. That time, that was a big plus for him.
Marshall's the team leader with 40 catches, 630 yards, and a team best 11 touchdowns. Drives continue. That is their first down of this football game. And good coverage by the Marauders. You would think the way they're schooled defensively, they're being told to not get beat deep.
And again, they're having a hard time handling Pollock. He's one of the guys that's been continually giving them pressure inside. Jafari's come in there as well that time. So that's the thing. He's not getting a lot of time. He's got to get that ball away quick. Probably quicker than he did all year long, I'm sure.
Incomplete pass stops the clock. 37 seconds to go. Redbank Valley still has 2 timeouts remaining. Not going to have to use one here. Well defended once again. Nowhere to go downfield. Tried to check it off to Schreckengast. Brendan hasn't been able to have been effective here offensively because of their lack of opportunities is what it's been.
That time you had number 56 in there, Sante Bambachi, coming from his position of defensive tackle. He has 65 tackles on the season, so they're getting penetration on that defensive side. It's really forcing him to throw quicker than he wants to.
How do you like that name for a football guy? Sante Bambachi. Pass complete here, and a good second effort by Tate Minich. Scurries out of bounds, but that's going to bring up a 4th down. And I would assume you're sending your punting unit out here. I know we're playing for a state championship and you like to make a swing at trying to win these things, but still believe if you get out of this half 7-0, they're leaving their offense on the field right now. Bain, I believe, is listed as their backup punter. He's trying to draw the defense off and may have done that, but it would not be enough for a first down.
Bain did a nice job there with the count.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Well, if they weren't going to snap it, this could change their mind. Jim, this is a roll of the dice in this game. Bishop Guilfoyle still has a timeout remaining. Redbank Valley has 2. They will go for it on 4th down and 3, or at least line up, and they snap it, and it's going to be nearly intercepted. Jumping the route up there on the top was Dominic Janaszak, and nearly had an interception.
He's been so good on defense for him all year. Take a look at it here. He jumped that route early. They knew it was coming to the outside. They knew that they wanted to get it to Marshall. But the thing of it is, he perfectly timed that on the outside. They just couldn't hold on to it for the INT, but it's going to go over to them on downs.
Well, and with the timeout here, that certainly gives Bishop Guilfoyle an opportunity to add to that 7-0 lead. So an interesting decision. 23 seconds. Football is at the 43-yard line. And they will spread the formation, empty the backfield for Carson Kiesewetter. Quarterback draw, and the first one will be limited, and the football comes out, and I believe Redbank Valley has it, and they do. So it'll make it all a moot point. Brendan Schreckengoss comes up with the fumble recovery. It is the first turnover of the football game.
Really nice job here as they went spread, and then they're going to come back up with the quarterback keeper once again. But then you see, as he gets hit inside, good job by Mansfield, to put a hand in there and knock that ball out.
Well, and now if you're Redbank Valley, now you have to take some shots here, I would think. 17 seconds, 2 timeouts. Boy, kudos to Redbank Valley. That's making your coach look good, huh? You come up and you don't execute.
That brought him right out.
Yeah, that's right. Again, pressure. As Bain dropping back to pass, 57, P.J. Pollock was in the neighborhood again. 17 tackles for loss, team best. 7.5 sacks, 113 tackles.
Again, these D-backs are playing very, very well for the Marauders. They're doing a nice job of playing deep, but not letting anything really beat them deep.
13 seconds. Bain trying to check it down, and the pocket just kind of collapsed on him. He's still upright, but forward progress will be ruled down. They stopped the clock for a moment for some reason. Now it is running. I think we've seen the last play. No, we have not. Wayne Gold has run out there to use one of his timeouts.
Again, you saw Bambachi coming around that corner. They did a nice job with a couple of loops on that blitz right there, and they really protected themselves, or got themselves in through protection, broke down that pocket, and he had nowhere to go right now. And that's the thing that he's probably more frustrated with himself because of the fact he has no time to throw that football. He's got people who have been open, but the thing of it is the line has not been producing enough for them as far as pass blocking goes, and I'm sure that's the thing that Coach Gold will address in the halftime talk.
4A championship game tonight on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. District 3 winner Bishop McDevitt. District 7 champion Aliquippa tonight at 7 o'clock. Steve Degler, Brandon Noble will have the call of that one for you. Friday and Saturday games as well. Just really impressed, Jim, as I look across the way for Redbank Valley. Mentioned last year fans were not allowed to attend these games. Kudos to Dr. Bob Lombardi and everybody involved with the PIAA to even hold these championships a year ago during that COVID-19 pandemic. But refreshing to see a return to normalcy here this afternoon. Time for one more play for Redbank Valley. Pass is complete to Aiden Orts. Orts maneuvering, looked like he may have been looking to lateral that to somebody as he gets it out across midfield. The first half will come to a close. Bishop Guilfoyle enjoying a slim 7-0 advantage. Steve Degler, Brandon Noble, halftime when we return to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
touchdown, goal. However you score, do it with PCN, bringing you sports coverage every season. Watch live and stream on demand. With coverage this good, you'll be a part of the action on cable and the PCN app. Relive the action with PCN. Did you know you can rewatch this and other PIAA championships with the PCN Select streaming service? You can also purchase digital downloads, Blu-rays, and DVDs of PIAA sports championships on the PCN Store.
Back in Hershey, halftime of the Single A championship game, one of 6 contests at Hershey Park Stadium this weekend, and Bishop Guilfoyle leading Redbank Valley by a score of 7-0 at the break. Steve Degler, Brandon Noble back at Hershey Park Stadium, and your old Penn State teammate Justin Wheeler, just the way he likes it, a physical first half, run-oriented, and his team is up 7-0.
Yeah, it's like 1992 all over again, right? This is about offensive linemen and fullbacks and tight ends, and really the Marauders are kind of controlling the game in that way, and it's keeping the Redbank Valley offense off of the field, right? And at the same time, eating up all that clock, keeps the momentum on their side, but really, you know, they're just running the football and imposing their will. It's the O-line right now. It's winning the football game.
But at the same time, it's just 7-0. Redbank Valley has been able to stay in this game.
Yeah, and really, Redbank Valley, if they could just win on first down a little bit, they're getting behind the sticks so far right now. They're not able to really convert on third. Can't get anything going. You know, they're one big play away right now from tying this thing up, you know, in the second half.
Well, the one guy who's pretty much done it all on offense for this Bishop Guilfoyle team is their quarterback, Carson Kieswetter. He has been tremendous in running this offense and running the ball himself.
Yeah, Kieswetter's done a great job. I mean, look, he's basically had the ball the entire first half himself. You see right there, he pulls it down to run. We were kind of joking. It was the first time he was going to try and throw the football. And then you see him strike right here, right down the middle. Big hit right there to kind of bring him in. Look at all those fullbacks and tight ends, right? And a couple sneaks down here on the goal line to punch it in and get the points. But really, the whole offense runs through Kieswetter, whether it's making the decision where to run the football or where to throw the football.
He's over 100 yards rushing already today. That would be the 5th time this season he's eclipsed that mark. He has 22 rushing touchdowns as well. But the Redbank Valley defense has been really good, and they've been on the field a long time in the first half. You worry about them maybe getting worn down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely getting tired. That offense has to help them out a little bit. You saw at the end of the first half, the momentum didn't change score-wise, but you could see they were starting to play a little better on defense, and they had a little momentum, got a couple first downs there. So, again, they just got to build off of that. But I really think they need to take the ball and just throw it down the field. The other thing is they've got to start protecting the quarterback right now. I mean, they're sending pressure. The Marauders are sending 4 or 5 guys, and they're getting home. There's no time to let those pass routes develop.
Looking at it defensively, Joe Mansfield had a big half for Redbank Valley, but Chris Marshall was just all over the place in the first half.
All over. A lot of fun to watch this kid play. I mean, you see him right there stepping up. Again, he's technically a DB, but he's playing in the box right now. Again, that's because of the kind of offense that you're seeing right now with all the fullbacks and tight ends. He's filling gaps. He's in there. His good eyes right here. Look at that. I mean, that looks like a linebacker right there. He's technically listed as a DB, but he's down inside there. Good physical football player. He had a nice crack. See, that's great tackling right there.
He's got 12 tackles in the first half. That's a game's worth for a lot of guys. He was simply outstanding. And you talked a little bit about the offense. And really, it does start with the protection. Give your quarterback some time to see downfield.
Yeah, definitely. And you got guys that can run, and they're tall, and they can sprint and spread the field. And the Marauders' DBs aren't that big. You know, so take advantage of some of those 6'3" receivers that you have. Throw the ball up there and see what happens.
Justin Wheeler, Bishop Guilfoyle have won 3 state titles. They won 47 straight games and taking home those 3 gold medals. You know him very well. Do you expect any changes from him?
No, absolutely not. In fact, I was kind of surprised he got away from all the tight ends and fullbacks on the field toward the end of the first half there and spread it out a little bit. Ran that QB sneak to try and get the first down on 4th, and it didn't work. They're gonna pack the box and run the football.
7-0 Bishop Guilfoyle leads at halftime in the Single A championship game. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll preview the remaining 5 contests from Hershey as the title games run through Saturday here in Chocolate Town.
touchdown, goal. However you score, do it with PCN, bringing you sports coverage every season. Watch live and stream on demand. With coverage this good, you'll be a part of the action on cable and the PCN app.
Ready to sponsor the PIAA Championships? Get your business off the sidelines and into the game. Contact us at PCNTV.com or send us an email at sponsor@PCNTV.com. PCN is Pennsylvania Sports.
PCN brings you sports the way you want it, the way you expect it. For the best of PIAA sports, watch PCN. See the upcoming schedule at PCNTV.com/sports. PCN is Pennsylvania Sports. Why would you go anywhere else?
Single A Pennsylvania Championship game is at halftime. Bishop Guilfoyle is leading Redbank Valley by a score of 7-0. It is the first of 3 doubleheaders on tap here at Hershey Park Stadium. Steve Degler back with Brandon Noble. We will be in the booth tonight. 7 o'clock our coverage begins for the 4A championship game. And it is 2 teams that certainly know their way to Hershey, as Bishop McDevitt out of District 3 will take on Aliquippa. The Quips looking for their 4th state title. That should be a great one.
Yeah, it's classic Pennsylvania high school football right there. When you hear those names, Aliquippa, Bishop McDevitt, like that's who should be here in Hershey.
And you look at tomorrow, at Southern Columbia team, I'm not sure they've ever been here before.
No, I've never heard of those guys at all.
They might need directions to Hershey Park Stadium. I believe this game's on their schedule every year that just says TBA for the opponent. Southern Columbia under Jim Roth, the winningest coach in Pennsylvania history, will take on Sarah Catholic in the 2A championship game at 1 o'clock. And then it is going to be the night game in the 5A contest. Penn Trafford will take on Imhotep Charter. Penn Trafford here for the first time. Imhotep has been here several times. Let's start with Southern Columbia. Successful program. Going to see a lot of wing tee tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, the wing tee is something special, and when you haven't seen a lot of it, it can get you all of a sudden. So Sarah Catholic being able to handle that will be interesting to figure that out.
And for Penn Trafford, first time they've been here, Imhotep is a team out of Philadelphia that's going to bring you a lot of great athletes on offense and defense.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, Imhotep's one of those programs that just kind of reloads their guys, and I'm down there in southeastern PA. I've watched those guys play a couple times this year. The speed that Penn Trafford's going to have to deal with will be interesting.
And then we shift to Saturday. The 3A game is a rematch of last year. Central Valley will take on Wyomissing out of District 3. Central Valley had its way last year. Wyomissing, another team that runs the wing tee. That's going to be a very intriguing matchup.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You know, you got the teams that have been here before. They've done it before. They've been in this exact same thing before. So it'll be interesting to see if Central Valley can kind of do the same thing they did last year. Wyomissing, those played really well at the end of the year. That wing tee is devastating when it's run well.
And then you go to 6A, and it's another newcomer. Mount Lebanon out of Pittsburgh has never been here. St. Joe's Prep seems to be here all the time. They were tested a couple of weeks ago against Freedom in the quarterfinals, survived that. And for Mount Lebanon, it's a great story to get here out of the West.
Yeah. Mount Lebanon's, I mean, they're kind of the underdog here, but they have had a great year. You know, they actually, you know, I coach at Downtown East High School. We went and played State College. We handled them pretty well. Mount Lebanon handled State College really well. That's a good football program. St. Joe's, they've been here. They've done it a million times. It feels like it's going to be very calming for them to be out there. No nerves.
Some great football coming your way through Saturday evening here on PCN, but we have another half to play in the Single A championship game. Bishop Guilfoyle looking for its 4th title under Justin Wheeler. The Marauders leading the Bulldogs of Redbank Valley by a score of 7-0 at the break. Mike Zambelli, Jim Wells with the second half call from Hershey right after this.
PCN brings you the PIAA Championships in a variety of sports. From the field to the pool and the court to the track, PCN brings you the best scholastic teams competing on the state's biggest stage from all the best angles. With multiple cameras, instant replay, and professional commentary, we take high school sports and elevate them to new heights. Watch on cable and the PCN app. PCN, proud to bring Pennsylvania sports to you.
Stadium lights are going out. The bleachers are empty. The reason? No officials. When fans are disrespectful to the calls on the field and those who make them, it is a hard position to fill. Show your support for your PIAA officials by demonstrating respect. Let's all work together so the game is great for everyone.
Back here at Hershey Park Stadium and back upstairs here for this PIAA championship football game between the Marauders and the Bulldogs. 7-0. Mike Zambelli, Jim Wills. Welcome back here to Hershey. Jim, let's start with the Marauders. And if you're Justin Wheeler, how concerned are you? I mean, they're used to being in close games. It's the style of football they play. But just a 7-0 lead here at intermission, Redbank Valley's very much in this game.
Yeah, I think he's a little concerned. He wanted to have that field goal for one. That was a point. That was points they could have had at 1.2. And I think if he had that quarterback sneak to come back to, he wouldn't have ran it towards Mansfield's side. And that's the kind of thing that I think really hurt him in that first half. Other than that, I think they played very well, but I think he could have got some points definitely up from that field goal.
How about if you're Blaine Gold? You won the toss to this football game. You wanted your offense out there first. Your offense didn't have a good first half, but now you're going to have to give the football up in terms of kicking off. Their defense has a chance to get momentum right back here at the start of this third quarter. This is a huge series coming up to start this second half.
Absolutely. There's not many times that the opening kickoff is a big turning point, and this is going to be one of them. They forced 39 turnovers on the year. They got another one in the first half, so now it's 40 for the year. They have so much confidence in their defensive unit. That's why he did that decision with the kick. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get a 3-and-out and get the ball back and be able to pass block like the guys were saying at halftime. That's going to be the key for them. They need the pass block to give Bain the time so he can throw the football.
Blaine Gold trying to rally his guys. Let's take a look at those first half numbers, and not very pretty for Redbank Valley. You look at those 5 completions, they all came late with under 2 minutes to go in that first half, and just cannot rush the football. They haven't had opportunities, minus 2 yards rushing. Those are numbers that are going to have to change, and of course, the time of possession just jumps out and gets you.
Yeah, the things, you're looking at rushing. They're going to, as I said earlier in the game, they're going to have to get some rushing yards, and they're going to have to do something now. I think they're getting a little more confident with their passing game. As you said, the 5 completions were in that last drive that they had. So it'll be interesting to see. On the other side, rushing yards is exactly what you thought you'd see, and basically coming out of the quarterback of 157 yards for Guilfoyle, and that's what they want to see happen. They want to run the ball, and they want him to run it.
Only touchdown of that first half was a 1-yard plunge, pretty much what you might expect. Bishop Guilfoyle at one point had a 15-play drive negated on the 16th play when they were stopped on 4th and a short one. And you know what he's telling these guys? Hey, we're in the state finals. We need to pick up a yard when we need it on 4th down.
Yeah, that's the thing, and we need not to miss assignments. And that was a blown assignment that really cost them on that one right there, because the ability of him to pick holes is great, but he's not going to be able to pick holes if a guy's coming off that defensive end position like they did that time without being blocked.
Marauders getting a little rally there. It's neat to see these teams and what they go through to prepare these young student athletes for competition at this level. Interesting. We brought it to both coaches' attention in terms of the length of the season. I mean, this all started back in the warmth and the heat of heat acclimation back in August, and here you are mid-December, you're still playing football. Really important in this day and age, eating right, and the coaches have all talked about it, that it's very important. If you aspire to be a state champion in Pennsylvania, you need to take care of yourself, and you need to really pace yourself that you're in tip-top shape for this time of the year, and it's very difficult to do.
And I think that's one of the things we got to look for here in that second half. That situation where Redbank Valley spent a lot of time on the field, Mike, defensively, and that's going to have to change here if they have a chance to win this ball game in this second half. They were a little bit gassed there. They finally got a little bit of momentum there at the end of the half, but they spent an awful lot of time on the defensive side of the ball. And as you said, this is a long, long season. I don't care how good you are on either side of the ball, you got to have a little bit more better balance.
Marauders dominated that first half, but just a 7-0 lead to show for it. Blaine Gold, third season, talked about him being a teacher of economics. I do want to take this moment to congratulate he and his wife, Jennifer. They're going to be celebrating their 7th anniversary coming up on Sunday, and he shared with me, he says, I'm so thankful to my wife. Our anniversary date, we were married on December 13th. 2014, and if you do the math on that, that's 12, 13, 14. He said, I will not forget my anniversary date. So we wish them a very happy anniversary. He's got football on his mind right here. His defense will be out here to start this third quarter. Little chip shot near side, and just keeping it in play is Drew Abraham, and Abraham's courageous play there is going to get it up across the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Good field position to start this third quarter for the Marauders.
Yeah, nice job on special teams as they came up with a good return right there by Abraham, and that's the kind of thing you want to see happen here. You want good field position. You want ball control, which is what Coach Wheeler looks for. You want to take some time off the clock, and you want to score some points here in this half. This is going to be the key. They got to get a couple more touchdowns because they don't have as big a play come from behind situation as Redbank Valley does.
Kiesewetter, 22 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Rather, 10 carries, 50 yards. Abraham, 2 for 6 yards. They have been the ones. It is Kiesewetter, and this time he lost the football. It is out, and there is the momentum that Redbank was looking for. Fumble recovered by Marquise Gardlock.
As we talk about, it's just what I just got done saying about the amount of turnovers. They create turnovers all the time. Mansfield punches it out on this play. You're going to see him come off that edge again, and that's the key as he goes inside. See him go inside, and then he comes right there as he punches that ball out. He is so disruptive from that defensive end position, and that brings up turnover number 41 on the season.
18 quarterback hurries, a fumble recovery, a safety on the year. Best starting position of the football game for Redbank Valley. Bryson Bain, the quarterback, and looking to throw. Flushed out of the pocket, and they're going to get him for a loss of about 3 yards. Great coverage downfield and nowhere to go with the football. Colin Campbell among the Marauders there around the quarterback.
Again, they talked about, pass protection, and that's the kind of thing. He had better protection that time, Mike. But then on the other flip side, you have staunch defense by the Guilfoyle people in the secondary. So that was a stalemate right there.
Ante Bambachi, 8.5 sacks on the year, loss of 3 on first down, and another negative play turned in by this Marauders defense, but might be getting it right back here.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Yeah, Bain's doing a good job, Mike, with the count. He's been getting to get away from that pressure. They have Jafari coming off that corner, number 1, and he's been stepping over. This is the second time he got caught stepping over the line, and now that's going to be a 5-yard deal.
So you get the sack back plus a couple of yards, and a little bit better scenario, and 2nd down and 8. Bain has Brendan Schreckengast to his immediate right. They'll look to throw, and they're not going to have much time to do it coming off the edge, and Bain is in all kind of trouble. They believe they blew the play dead, and they never did get him on the ground.
Again, P.J. Pollock, they haven't had an answer for him all afternoon. He's coming off. Again, you're going to see him come in. He's going to get an arm wrap. Look at right here. He comes right off the edge. You got to pay attention to him. He's the one that started it, and then they end up finishing it right after that again with the other side of the look in Bambachi.
Pollock, senior, 6'2", 220, 113 tackles. Leads the team with 17 tackles for loss and is among the team leaders with 7.5 sacks. So they are back now to a 3rd down and close to 13. Trying play action. That ball may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, and this offense can't get anything going in the proper direction. What a play coming up off the corner by Vincent Jafari.
Jafari was one of those other guys that they had to move around, like, and put him in that defensive position with the injury earlier in the season. But as you said, that ball slightly tipped, and that ball hit the ground. Matter of fact, the officials did not catch that one right there, as that ball was slightly tipped.
Yeah, you're right. Jafari was the guy who replaced Hayden Garner on the defensive side at the safety position. That's what you lose when you lose a Hayden Garner. You need 2 guys to try and replace him.
Yeah, there's going to be a turnover here caused again because he was on his knees when he went to punt that football. Things are not going good right now for Redbank, as you're going to see a bad snap, and then you're going to see he's on his knee right there as he gets up off of his knee and tries to punt it.
It's Tate Minnick, and what was a great opportunity for Coach Gould's team to get back into this football has really gone awry. I mean, in a bad way. Couldn't get anything going offensively. Credit to that Marauders defense, and now special teams. And Bishop Guilfoyle will start inside the Bulldogs' 40-yard line. T.C. Wetter hands it off to Rother. Upended as he gets to the 35-yard line. They were great on first downs in that opening half.
Yeah, Rother had 10 carries for 50 yards in that first half, so he's been productive for him out of that backfield when T.C. Wetter isn't carrying the ball. So that 1-2 punch has been very productive for Bishop Guilfoyle.
You know, Jim, I'm on record, and I know they do a great job to protect players. I just don't like that that's a... You're not down by contact there, and I understand the rule in high school to protect guys when they're on a knee, but that's where, for me, that's just a tough scenario. And you have to ask your defense to try and pick up for it. Marauder is keeping it on the ground.
Yeah, they're trying to take steps forward on that offensive side, Mike, but they're ending up in that same position, and that's having that defense on the field play after play after play. And you're going to take a look at, you see, good job again by Pollock coming off there, and Mansfield's right there to meet him. That's the thing. They're trying to send their best at their best, and it's become a stalemate pretty much here a lot of times in this ballgame.
Number 2's a football player, isn't he? Not afraid of contact, that's for sure. Third down here, and that's not going to get it done. We're going to look at another fourth down try here, I believe, by Bishop Guilfoyle. And it's going to be the better part of a yard to closer to 2 yards. Now as they spotted on the 30, they were just denied right before the halftime break.
Good job by Zeldin Fisher. He had a good first half as well. Did a nice job of tackling in that first half. Had almost a total of 6 tackles in that first half, so he's been very productive on that defensive line.
Patrick Riley, the wide receiver, checks into the game. They will go with a spread formation. 4th down and 2. Rather the motion man. Kesey Weather's going to keep the football. Contact behind the line of scrimmage was Marquise Gardlock there, and another stop on 4th down for the Bulldogs.
The thing of it is Guilfoyle trying to go wide on this group, Mike, or inside, either or. You know, the thing of it is, you know, they put the motion man in, which is good, but then the thing of it is they're going right up the middle, and they're really keeping them inside. Those guys are tough to get around. You know, you don't have 41 turnovers with having an easy defense. These guys are very, very tough to get to that middle part of the field.
That is 2 huge plays defensively for this Bulldogs football team. Now can they get anything jump-started offensively? Check and ghost, and he's trying to break through. Perhaps their most productive run from scrimmage in the football game, picks up 8.
Yeah, take a look at him right here. This time they finally get a good block up front. They get off the edge, and he does a great job of getting another 5 yards on his own. That's the thing for him. He had 75 yards against Bishop Canavan. He only had 55 yards coming into the beginning, from the beginning of the season on to then, so he was very productive in that big win last week.
Well, he took over for Ray Schreckengost. No relation, by the way. Ray Schreckengost was suspended from the football program for violation of school policy. He's actually their team's leading rusher, 160 carries, 878 yards, and 16 TDs. He's rushed for over 104 different times, but the senior running back was ruled ineligible prior to the start of their state quarterfinal round game, and Brendan Schreckengost has come on to spark this offense. And now another first down as they move the football out across the 45.
Did a good job with a run there by Aiden Orts. That was a nice run. Not too productive during the season, but comes up with some big movements right there.
Looking to throw here, and it is complete to Marquise Gardlock. And this offense now starting to get a little rhythm. 11 yards and another Bulldogs first down.
Again, good job of the pass protection. Gets that ball out early, though. That's the key. And a nice job of getting it upfield. They have advantages. Gardlock at 6'3". Big advantages at that wide receiver spot. As Brendan Noble said at halftime, they got to take advantage of that on the outside.
Best throw of the afternoon for Bryce and Bain. They have moved into Marauders territory. Here is Schreckengost once again hops forward, maybe picked up a yard.
Again, Pollock in on the stop along with Jafari. Those guys coming off the edge. Jafari's done a nice job off that corner. Strong safety coming up real quick.
13-game winning streak for the Bulldogs, as Jim referenced earlier in the afternoon. On a number of occasions throughout the postseason have posted come-from-behind victories, trying to do it again here in the title game. Bain rolling the pocket to the right side. Little pump fake, got a couple of defenders out of position, and he turns it into a gain of 3.
That could be a factor here in the second half, too. If he develops into a little bit more of a runner, this time you're going to see decides to tuck. That's good decision on his part, and then go upfield. He's a big kid. We talked about that. He's 6'3", almost 200 pounds. So a big kid that can take a hit. So be interesting to see if he can give his wheels a little bit of an opportunity to work for them in the second half.
Yeah, that hasn't been a big part of it for them. He has negative yards when you factor in all his attempts in terms of sacks and that. So that has not been a big part of them offensively. Third down needs some production here. A little better than 4 minutes to go third quarter. Rado showing pressure. They're looking for a lot more than 5. And the pass is caught. It is guard lock for a touchdown, and the Bulldogs are right back in it.
He floated that one out there, and Gardlock just did a beautiful job of continuing to run downfield. That was a perfect pass. As he put it right where he needed to put it this time, you're going to see good protection, gets time, waited just that last second, and you can see Gardlock with a really little bit entanglement there, but he ended up getting the last push off to get the touchdown.
Score comes with 4:18 remaining here in the third quarter. They will line up for the extra point. Tyson Adams has been the young man taking over those duties. Good hold as the extra point is up and good. 4:18 to go third quarter. We've got a 7-7 football game. More from Hershey, Pennsylvania after this timeout.
For over 25 years, PCN is proud to bring you exciting moments of Pennsylvania sports. From touchdowns to double plays to the butterfly stroke, PCN brings all the action right to you. PCN is a 501c3 nonprofit television network that receives no state or federal funding. Please consider a tax-deductible donation today. PCN is Pennsylvania Sports. It doesn't matter what part of the state you're from. One thing is certain. Pennsylvania loves sports. On the first Friday of the month, PCN takes you inside the lines at 6:30 p.m. PCN delivers insight from the people who cover sports from every corner of the Commonwealth. From high school to college to professional sports, PCN takes you inside the lines. Learn more at PCNTV.com.
Refuel with chocolate milk. The American Dairy Association Northeast is proud to sponsor the 2021 PIAA Football Championship Scoreboard. 7-7 football game, Jim. Well, we talked about the defense having to make plays here to start this third quarter for Redbank. Didn't count on them having to make 2 plays, which is what they did in that third quarter, but finally production for this offense.
Yeah, and offensively, you got to give credit to the offensive line, Mike. We were much maligned on them in that first half, not giving good pass protection. That time in that drive, they gave him, except for that one play, they gave him enough time to get that ball off. He had to give a little pump fake on that touchdown pass. They gave him that time, and then he had the opportunity. And the thing of it is, when you got receivers this big in those matchups on the corners, you're going to have those kind of advantages.
Gardlock's 5th touchdown receiving of the year among the team leaders. 29 catches, 474 yards, one of 7 two-way starters for this team. Boy, and emotionally, they have to be charged up. Talked about their ability to bend but not break in the first half, trailed just 7-0. And as the guys talked about at halftime, one big play away from being right back in it. And just like that, momentum has changed in this contest. 2 big stops on 4th down.
Yeah, that was the key. And we told you all along that their defense is awesome, and it showed it here this afternoon. The confidence that he has in that defense and the job he's done. He's the defensive coordinator, so Coach Gold has done an outstanding job getting his defense ready for Guilfoyle.
Line drive kick is retrieved by Haig, and you could just see energized across the way as the return out across the 25-yard line. And the Bishop Guilfoyle offense will now go back to work.
Ashton Kale on the stop on special teams. Now, see, this is when you get the juice. You get rejuvenated now. You got some points on the board. You feel confident in yourself. That's the difference right now for Redbank. You know, you've always been confident in your defense all game long, but now you finally got some points. We're finally back in this thing, and now we can take a little bit more of an edge off.
Crusaders back to work. See how that experience pays off for them, Jim. They have dominated this football game and right now have nothing to show for it. 7-7 tie.
The thing of it is they need to get, you know, good yardage on first down, which they've been getting now. That's a good job right there, getting 5 yards on first down. So the thing of it is when you run the ball as much as they do, you got to get that big positive first down.
Redbank Valley, one of 4 teams in this year's state finals with an opportunity to win the program's first ever championship. And Keezy Wetter, he's had a hand in just about every play throughout, and he continues. And he looks like a fullback when he starts lowering those pads in that second tier, Jim.
Look at how he made that move to the inside right there. He saw guard lock was on the outside. He went right on that inside lane, went right up to shoot. Nice job right there. Good decision by him. He does a great job with his eyes of really seeing where he needs to go and really shoots up those gaps.
Yeah, you got to love the way he carries the football. Shoulder pads low, head up, vision. First down at the 43-yard line. Tight formation. Keezy Wetter, and they have a man wide open. It's Shafari, who is at the 20. He will waltz into the end zone for a touchdown.
Sucked them all in with that fake. That was the key. Looked like it was going to be one of those runs. And this is what I said. They lull you to sleep with the run. Run, and then all of a sudden, this is the nice one. You're going to run. All right, he's going there, and he stops, and a jump pass, which you don't see very often, a jump pass from Casey Wetter to the outside to Jafari. Here you see it, 2 steps, and then a jump up in the air, and Jafari was wide open as everybody sucked in because you see him run 99% of the time.
That's Jafari's first touchdown reception of the year. He is a 6'3" junior. Extra point is up, and it is good. Wyant remains perfect for the game, perfect for the year. Now 43 for 43. What did you just say to describe that play? A jump pass?
That's exactly what it was. There is no other way to describe it. We're going back in time right there. That's exactly what it is.
That's beautiful.
It's a great move.
Keezy Wetter's a basketball guy, so he understands all of that. Well, and that's been a key to their success this year. And Coach Wheeler talked about it. He said, we try to create some things that, when we go to that tight formation, we think we can be successful at. Boy, that's digging one step deeper. That play was well executed and obviously well thought out by the Marauders.
And give Coach credit there. That's one of those ones he had in his hip pocket. That was one of those ones he was saving, and that's the kind of thing that you need to do, to change momentum. Game of high school football is about momentum, and he changed it right there very, very quickly.
Score comes with 2:47 to go, third quarter. And puts the Marauders back up top by 7. It's now a 13-5 advantage in the first down for Bishop Guilfoyle. Jafari has an older brother who is a captain on the team. Vincent wears number 7, a two-way starter. A great moment for a junior. First touchdown of the year. Here's a fake reverse and running room far sides. This is guard lock once again. Spinning and twisting. He's out across the 40. And all of a sudden this game's kind of changing the complexion.
Now we're going to a little bit more action-filled. See it right here as you're going to see the first time they go for that reverse, fake the reverse, and come around. Garlock's had a very, very good second half so far. He's done a lot of good things.
Talked about their explosiveness on special teams. 2 kick returns for scores, 5 punt returns for touchdowns. And good field position. This will start from their own 40. Gardlock, who has all of a sudden become a key guy on both sides of the football, is isolated one-on-one near side. Now Kieswetter cheats in that direction. That handoff was almost lost. Schreckengast had to recover it. While it was still in the air, he turned it into a gain of 5.
Oh, that's a very, very big plus for Redbank Valley, because if they lose the football right there, that could be very, very troublesome.
Schreckengast, a very popular name up in the Redbank Valley area. Gain of 5 as we approach 2 minutes in a game that also all of a sudden has loosened up, and you can see that Redbank Valley kind of likes that. Schreckengast twisting for first down yardage.
Well, what I said at halftime, Mike, there it is. You got to establish some kind of running game, and that's what they've done here. They've gotten a couple of good runs out of him. Here's a nice run right here, as you're going to see a little counter to the outside, and he does a good job of getting himself some extra yards. He's like a pinball going through there. He's getting hit by a couple different people, but man, he gets it done.
When's the last time you talked about 5'3" and 139 being a physical runner, right? And he is. 61 carries, now 262 yards. The 100-yard rushing game coming in the postseason. Look for a little change of direction there. Didn't find anything.
I can guarantee you that Coach Gold addressed that offensive line at the half, either through the run blocking situations that they weren't doing that good a job at, or through pass protection, and they've been much, much better. Klinger, Minnick, Barrett, Rob Fisher, they've been much, much better here in the second half of opening up holes and pass protecting.
Under a minute to go, third quarter. Each team has scored a touchdown. Schreckengast once again fighting to get to the outside. Well defended by the Marauders.
They're so quick to the outside. Cooper Rother there, the final guy to get a hold of them, but they really do a nice job of coming up from their D-back position and stopping runs that try to get to the outside.
Janishak was the guy. He's the guy that forced them to give a little ground and extended the play towards the sidelines. Clock continuing to run. Play clock's at 13, game clock at 20, so they will have to snap it on third down. Trying to come near side. Gardlock has the hot hand, but not this time. Closing in defensively was Ryan Haig, number 10, with help from his friends.
Yeah, Haig's at 5'9", and then you're going to see Gardlock at 6'3". So again, that's that mismatch on the outside. They're trying to get the ball into the hands of number 10, Marquise Gardlock.
He's going to bring on Tate Minnick in punt formation. Cooper Rother. Rother among the team leaders with 14 touchdowns on the season. A twisting kick will carry him out of bounds. Looks like they'll spot it at the 12-yard line. So the Marauders have restored order and will take over with just 5 seconds to go third quarter. They lead by 7.
And what their deal is now is going to be, again, time consuming. Take time off the clock, keep the hands, the offense out of this guy's team. They don't want to see Gold's team get that ball back on offense many more times. They've seen how explosive they can be, so you want to keep that ball and not turn the ball over.
Kieswetter will line up in now this tight formation. You can bet those secondary guys aren't going to be so anxious to crowd that line of scrimmage now. Fights his way forward for a pair or a single A state championship football game as now through 3. Bishop Guilfoyle 14, Redbank Valley 7.
I officiate PIAA sports, and I am an accountant.
I officiate PIAA sports, and I'm a teacher.
I'm a PIAA basketball official, I'm a firefighter, I'm a father, and I'm also a fan. I think it's easy for people to forget that we are regular people, that the same people that I'm refereeing, my kid plays with those kids sometimes. My kids play in the same league as these kids.
One of the greatest aspects of officiating is building relationships with the partners you're working games with, getting to know them as people, and also building relationships with the players and the coaches that are on the field with you every game.
These kids work so hard day in and day out, and you get to watch the benefit of them getting a new personal record, them making that bar that they've been dreaming of for weeks, and you get to have a front row seat to witness that every single day.
Test your trivia knowledge at PCN Travels to Crawford County this December. Here is your chance to win an exclusive PCN prize box. Learn more at PCNTV.com. Welcome you back to Hershey, Pennsylvania. Pretty comfortable day. Still pretty chilly this time of year. Weather expected to get downright balmy by Saturday afternoon. I'll believe that when I see it, as we welcome you back here to the sweetest place in the land and a lot of times the coldest.
Combination of both. As the wind is starting to pick up just a little bit, you can see the flag down there in the end zone starting to blow a little bit more than it was at the beginning of the ball game, but still a very, very nice day for football here in Hershey.
These two teams have dueled here this afternoon. Marauders, 3 state titles, 6-time District 11 champions. Twice they've been runner-up. So they are a dominant program in the single-A classification, and Redbank Valley looking to join the ranks. An historic afternoon for them already. First appearance in the state championship game. They start this fourth quarter on defense looking for a stop. And a couple of yard gain will bring up a 3rd down and close to 4.
Crawford, 58 yards going into that run right there. So he's been carrying the football a lot, 13 carries. That was his 14th of the ball game right there. So they've been trying to get him off when they don't have Guilfoyle running that football. They're trying to get him involved, but the thing of it is now it sets up a 3rd and 5 for them.
And the Bulldog defense, Jim, has just had a tough time getting off the field on 3rd downs. It'll be a tight formation. Guilfoyle backs off into a shotgun formation, loaded up on the left side of the formation. And he's going to use that cadence where he alters it, and it'll look like he got some movement.
Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty will result in a 1st down.
A lot of ways to move the markers.
I tell you, he does a great job of managing the game, Mike. That's the thing. I mean, Coach Wheeler told us what a great athlete he was. And, he did a great job last year for them at wide receiver. Wasn't planning on being the quarterback, kind of thrown into this situation. But I'll tell you what, he looks like a grizzled veteran. His junior year has been very, very productive. And as Coach Wheeler said, he got better and better and better week after week after week.
Moves the sticks once again on 3rd down. Rather the motion man. Timing is a touch off, but it looks awful good right now. There's 8, close to 9 yards on 1st down.
I think they got away with one right there, a little bit more. That they got to the outside, back to the inside. That was a great run by him to pull it back inside. Good vision.
Those are the little plays. Did you see the effort by Guilfoyle there on that? That was, he was almost past him. That's a heck of a job by your quarterback getting the ball to the running back, which is what the job is for number 14 on that play. Chance to be creative here if you want. Keep it on the ground. Another 1st down, and 1st downs now starting to equate to time off the clock for the Marauders.
That's what they want to do there. Is they got the line in sequence, doing a nice job as we talked about their line. Anthony Edwards, you got Ryan Hostler. Those guys have really done a good job opening up those holes, especially Hostler, a sophomore at the center position. He's had a lot of responsibility because of the amount of runs they've run up the middle.
P.J. Pollock Jr. to add to that list. Colin Butler, a 3-year starter. Aiden Benders, a senior. That group has really come together.
And they knew they had to be the group that really did a good job of really opening up holes and stuff because of the offense that they had to run. Once they found their identity, They knew they were going to be a big part of the piece of this puzzle.
Last trip to Hershey ended in a 10-7 overtime loss. Furthest thing from his mind right now. Where again, they're getting back to what they were in that first half. Kiesewetter here is in some trouble and will be fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage. It was Barrett who was able to break contain in the middle of the defense. And here's another one on third down. And Redbank Valley trying to get off the field once again on third down.
See number 9 trying, Chris Marshall trying to get the crowd jacked up for their side of the stadium here. This is a big, big third down.
Jim, Bishop Guilfoyle has not punted in this football game. Tight formation, Kiesewetter setting everybody and has the final play. And this time it'll be his guys who are a little jumpy on the top side of the formation.
42 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat the down, third down.
I really think he was after trying to get that defense to jump again.
He was definitely after that, Mike, and now you're going to see this really changes the call from Coach Wheeler.
You know, he'll bring in, among others, Patrick Riley. Coach Wheeler couldn't speak enough about the senior captain who just came on big time during the course of the year. Put him in that wide receiver position. He's among the team leaders. Kiesewetter, they're trying to set up a screen, and they had it. Oh, did they have it set up? He couldn't get it to Drew Abraham, and it will be a stop no matter how you ring it up for this Bulldogs defense.
And what happens a lot of times when you don't pass the ball a lot of times during the game, and he made that look to the right. They thought they were going to go to Riley, and then he wanted to go the opposite side. He put a little too much mustard on that one as it got away from him.
Abraham, 14 catches on the year. That picture spoke for itself. There wasn't a white jersey within 20, 25 yards on him. So the first punt of the game for Devin Wyatt. And keep in mind the explosiveness. This could be an opportunity here for these guys. A little open running room. This is Ashton Kale. And Kale twists his way. He's out the midfield. Kale is a young man who has returned 4 punts for touchdowns on the season. You are rolling the dice, giving him an opportunity.
Yeah, that's awfully scary to give him an opportunity to do what he does best. And like I said, this is not a foreign position for this group to be down at this point in the ball game. So this is regular business for them right down the stretch of the playoffs. So, you know, you can't be giving that ball to the guy who can really do a number like he can.
Well, with 7:50 to go in this football game, you have to ask yourself, if you're Redbank, how many opportunities are we going to get to have the ball on offense? Here's one for sure. They started on the ground with Schreckengast. Young man has become a real emotional leader for his teammates. Voted one of their captains. He lost both his mom and his dad at the age of 5. He's been raised by his grandparents. He's a beloved player on this football program and has risen his game. Two-way starter here in the state championship game at 5'3" and a $139. Gain of 4 on first down. Schreckengast once again. I like what they're doing. They're showing some patience here, and that line, as you mentioned, Jim, is starting to exert itself.
It's been the total difference in this second half, as you're going to see. The good job inside, great blocking inside. That was really a nice job by Fisher that time. Zeldin Fisher, the left tackle, did a great job opening up that hole.
A chance to take a shot if you want here. Third down and 1. Bain checks with the sidelines. Gardlock is out to the left of the formation. They'll keep it on the ground. Schreckengast once again twists and fights and turns it into a 4-yard gain and a first down for the Bulldogs.
Well, we said that at halftime, Mike. They're going to have to establish a running game, and they've done a good job of that here in the second half. Credit again to that offensive line. And Coach Gold knew it. He knew who to address at halftime, and he knew that they were a much better team offensively than what they showed in that first half.
5 total District 9 totals now for Redbank Valley, 91, 92, 96. In each of the last 2 years. They wound up 7-1 a year ago, winning their first 7 before falling in the quarterfinals of the state tournament.
Nice pitch right here to Gardlock. That was a nice play call there by Coach Gold. Get your big guy coming around, Take a look at him. See he's coming around in motion. A little quick toss inside. Get the big guy out in space so he can use that speed like he did on the touchdown catch.
Gain of 7 on first down, starting to take a page out of the Bishop Guilfoyle playbook. Success on first down gives you so many more options than offensively. Bain, pressure coming from behind. We're not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Just a wave of purple and gold all around him.
You see Campbell, Pollock, all those guys involved in this tackle. You're going to see how they contain him very well. They keep him in the pocket. Here you're going to see the first job done inside by number 56. And Bocce, we talked about him so many times today. He's done a whale of a job of getting in that backfield.
Cam Wangard checks in. I'm going to correct myself. That is Ashton Kale, number 6, who has checked in. He's for the moment down here, but I think we're going to get a timeout. Time really becoming a factor. And again, you have to ask yourself, this timeout charged to Redbank. You just don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get. We go down to the wire in the single A championship game, 14-7, Bishop Guilfoyle.
A PCN Select subscription is more than a single championship. It's a year of Pennsylvania sports. PCN Select is a great value for all seasons. Previous PIAA championships, sports profiles, inside the lines, PA books about Pennsylvania sports, and PCN Sports Classics, all on demand. Check out PCNTV.com for more details. PCN is Pennsylvania sports.
Stream this championship and more anytime, anywhere, on demand with PCN Select. Learn more at PCNTV.com.
Now, Bain is not in the ball game, Mike, so we're going to be something different here. Looking for Redbank when they come out on the field.
Well, and keep in mind, Gunnar Mangentini was injured earlier. This is Chris Marshall lining up at that. So it is Chris Marshall, the senior, on third down. I don't know if Bain was shaken up or he's injured. They're going to run a sweep to the left side. There is a marker down on the play. The play has first down yardage as Kale was able to turn the corner, but there is a marker down near side.
Looks like they're going to bring this one back. I think there was too much motion going on there at one time.
Illegal shift against the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, third down.
It has been a point of emphasis for officials across the state all year long in terms of the sets and with all the different things that are going on offensively to get that and keep that under control. And again, we don't know if Bain has been injured. Don't see him
coming back in right now, Mike. But he's not a quarterback. He's coming in on a wing.
So he's part of a bunch set on the left side of the formation. There is Bryson Bain. And it's going to be Chris Marshall who's going to take the direct snap from center on what is now third down and 10. And now they're going to run a trick play. They've got it. Defender falls and his guard locks, who's got it for the touchdown.
Great job of sneaking Bain back in the ball game. I don't think that Guilfoyle realized that Bain was in that position out on the outside, and they do a nice double reverse here. Take a look at it. You're going to see here a handoff and then a pitch back to Bain, and look at that's a one-on-one, and you had great position there. Guard lock wide open because the defensive back fell down. Great job on that play.
Important extra point, and they have not been gimmies this year for Redbank. 17 for 20 is Tyson Adams, on the year, but perfect throughout the postseason to tie the football game with 4:38 to go. Kick is just through the uprights, and we are all even at 14 apiece.
Well, give credit to Coach Gold for dialing up his best play he had in the playbook right there. Take a look at it here. You can see the handoff to number 6, Kale. Kale gives it back to Bain. Bain throws down the field, and as I said, they got a break because the D-back had fallen down, and Garlock was all alone there in that matchup.
If you followed Redbank this year, they went for 2 a lot during the regular season. Matter of fact, 17 successful 2-point tries. If this game does come down to that, part of the reason was the games, and they worked on some things, and he said, we've now realized how important that extra point is, and it's a good thing they have that straightened out. Tyson Adams is perfect in the postseason on his extra points, and this one, with 4:38 to go, ties this football game at 14 apiece.
It was interesting to see the maneuvering going on there, and I'm glad we watched to see where Bain was, and Bain snuck his way back in there and got himself on that wing, and boy, he was in perfect position. That's a great way to put your quarterback in that position. That was just a one-on-one competition on the sidelines, and he just laid it right out there.
Well, usually when they go to that package, it is Gunnar Mangentini, and I'm just going to guess that because of his injury, you talk about preparing for a game. Marshall was the guy who came in there. Mangentini's had some big moments. He's the guy who got injured earlier and lost out in that quarterback spot. Great execution by both teams now on a little trickery here in this second half. Short kick near side, and it's going to give Guilfoyle some good field position. Drew Abraham on the return. Redbank Valley now 5 for 13 on their first down conversions. Bishop Guilfoyle 5 of 9. What a way to start our week. 3 straight days of doubleheader championship football. Game number 1 here, going to take us right down to the closing seconds. Kiesewetter has been involved, whether it be run or throw. Looking to throw here, a little pump fake, and has a man. It's Rother who has the football, complete to the 22-yard line.
His ability to run really has to freeze those linebackers, and that's what happened again. He showed you he might take the ball off and run. He's waiting, and he faked putting it under his arm, and then he throws it downfield. He really sold that play. That was a heck of a play by him.
43 yards on the completion, and Guilfoyle on the move. Boy, you talk about Kiesewetter, a first-year quarterback. You're absolutely right. That pump fake on the outside gave Rother that step on the defense and allowed for the 43-yard gain to the 21st and 10. Already within field goal range, but certainly they don't want to have to settle. Rother fighting inside the 15. Again, 6 yards on first down. They've been great on first down, which is such a key for this offense.
Absolutely great. Aiden Bender, one of the last guys up off the pile there. Looks like he's shaking up a little bit, but boy, that offensive line opening up again. Some great holes for those running backs.
16 first downs to 8. Favor of Bishop Guilfoyle. Abraham, the running back to the left of Kiesewetter. It'll be Rother. He's to the inside 5. Touchdown, Marauders!
Great job. He did a little step, and he twisted his body there when he starts. Take a look at it. Look at the little step, and then bam, right across. Did a nice job. Got some great blocks up front. That was the key. That offensive line doing a great job again, getting the hole open for him.
Cooper Rother, one of the team leaders. That is his 11th rushing touchdown of the year. Over 880 yards coming in. 14 total touchdowns. Wyant on for the point after. And hammers it home. Boy, credit to Bishop Guilfoyle. They have not let Redbank Valley enjoy any of their successes. What a quick score to answer the 7.
Here you take a look at it. See that? He pulled the ball down. It was like that pump fake that really allowed the receiver to get open a little bit more. Rother did a great job on this drive, obviously. And then you're going to see him coming across, and then he does a great job with his vision, taking the lane they gave him. Excellent job by him on this drive. He took 2 big
big out from the 10 to the 15. It has been a big part of their attack. I wouldn't think anything's going to reach those three guys here, but you never know. Last minute instructions from Justin Wheeler. And now those three guys have all pinched up to about the 25, and it is a low line drive kick angling out of bounds, and that's the threat of those return guys. I would think Redbank Valley would take it from the 35, and they will send the offense out, trailing once again. Twice they have battled back to tie this football game.
As I told you, they were trailing against Union AC Valley. They were trailing against Northern Bradford 14-7. Coming back, they were down 14-0 to Canavan before they came back to win. So they've been in this position a lot. They're going to take the kick over now.
Well, then that's why originally I thought that might be a decision to make. I mean, when you've had that kind of success, why not? You put the football into any one of those three young men's hands, and it's a threat to go the distance. 13 non-offensive touchdowns on the year, including 5 punt returns and 2 kick returns. Schreckengoss, the one young man we talked about, has one of those kick returns for touchdowns. He's in the middle deep. And just put the football on its side, rolling down that right side, fielded by Cale. And Cale gets it up across the 40.
Ronald Donahue on the stop for Bishop Guilfoyle, so good job on special teams. Now it's going to be up to this guy right here, number 11, Bryson Bain. Baseball player who's playing his first year at quarterback. Go to IUP next year for baseball, but we'll see what he's got left in that arm and see if they can get somebody downfield. They've had success here in the second half of getting the matchups that they wanted.
Wardlock is split to the left of the formation. They have a bunch set.
Could they be doing another throwback here, Mike? Oh, they fake it this time. That's what they're going to do. That's Marshall.
That was Marshall again, lined up out of the shotgun. Faked the running play. They had Bain is in the football game. He was part of that bunch set on the right side of the formation. I just like to know, where do you get time to work on these plays?
I was wondering
football.
I was wondering if they're going to go to the well and use that same thing again.
Bain's going to go back to the quarterback position here.
Getting a lot of pressure on this offensive line to perform in this drive.
Play clock's down to 8. There's a lot of confusion going on there. Plus, they're burning a lot of valuable time off the clock. Will barely get the play off. Schreckengoss on the reception. Forward progress going to be up to the 48-yard line. Successful play. Schreckengoss has been used as a receiver. Not a lot. 2 catches, 62 yards on the year.
Trying to give him a little different look. Trying to get him out in space.
Third down, they need 3 for a first down. Need to get it just across midfield. Bain's going to have to run for it as first down yardage and more, and a smart play to get out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:52 to go.
That's what I talked about before. At some point in this game, he's going to have to use his feet to help his team, and here's an example of it. Does a nice job and then smartly gets out of bounds to save some time on the clock. Very good play by Bain.
Ushered out of bounds by Janaszek. First and 10, football at the 44-yard line. Bain looking left, being pressured from both sides, runs into one of his own men, and a trio of defenders going to keep him in play and record the sack, among them 64, Colin Butler.
He had a hard time. He ran into Christian Klinger there. You're going to see him, number 75, who missed his block on the corner, but then he comes out and he ends up running back into the quarterback there. And that cost him some valuable yardage.
Anthony Shafari getting a piece of the tackle as well. I believe it was Bambachi who was in there as well, that it does force the Bulldogs to use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. So 1:38 to go. They have just 1 left.
It'll be interesting to see here. Offensive coordinator Jason Kundick coming up with a different play here, or if they're going to try to just take a shot down the field with those receivers in those matchups.
9-3 lost in the district championship game in Coach Gold's first year. 7-1 last year, as I mentioned. COVID-19 shortened season, wound up winning the district title, lost in the state playoffs. Back-to-back District 9 championships. Last time a District 9 program was in the state finals was back in 1992 when Smethport lost to Scotland School. The only other time a District 9 team has made it here was Keystone in 1989. They lost to Dunmore 57-18. Redbank Valley trying to rewrite that script. The only other district in the history of this tournament that did not have a district football title is District 5.
They're giving double coverage on the outside right now to Gardlock. Smart move for Guilfoyle.
That could leave something open and inside, and right there it is. Good read by Bain, who gets it into the capable arms of Aiden Orts. Short of first down yardage, but a gain of 8.
Yeah, they're going to roll the dice with Riley out there on the outside. They got double coverage. Riley and Haig on the outside.
Just one more timeout to work with. Third down, they need 3. Bain, under pressure, goes underneath. It'll fall incomplete.
Tried to hit a little touch pass underneath the Minich.
The game, the season, the careers for 15 seniors for Redbank Valley Bulldogs on the line on this play. 13 seniors in uniform for Bishop Guilfoyle. Shrecken Ghost, the running back. And a timeout, this one going to be used by Bishop Guilfoyle. High drama at Hershey Park Stadium, 1:12 remaining.
And I'm sure Coach Wheeler wants to go over defensive assignments here, because when you go into that double coverage on the outside, you know, you don't want to slip up and let somebody get inside and get open. And that's the thing, and give them a big run down the middle of the field. So that's, I'm sure he wants to go over and make sure everybody knows their assignments on that defensive side with that double coverage going on the outside.
PIAA championship games are the exclusive property of the PIAA. Television coverage is licensed to PCN, whose exclusive rights are protected by federal copyright law. Any retransmission of any kind or other use of the television coverage of this game without the express written consent of PIAA is prohibited by law. To his immediate left. They need 3 to keep their hopes alive here this afternoon.
They're doubling on both corners now, Mike.
Only 3 down linemen, but they will try to throw the ball. Bain surveys. He needs 3, and he is going to get there. Forward progress going to put him at the 33-yard line. It'll be a conversion on 4th down.
Smart maneuver, good decision by Bain. Got himself in a position where he needed to do that.
Well, Guilfoyle went to a prevent defense. They still only have 3 down linemen. And now they'll try and save a timeout. They're only one that they have remaining, but they do burn a play.
That's what I said when Coach Wheeler called that timeout. That's why he did it, because he wanted to go into that prevent. He's got double coverage on both sides. He doesn't want to get beat on either side by number 9 Marshall or number 10 Gardlock. Both of those 2 guys can beat you deep, and he wants to put all the pressure on his guys inside, those guys that are those 3 linemen left inside, to get to the quarterback.
You mentioned Jason Kundik, their offensive coordinator. He has a son who is on the team as well. 2nd down and 10. Play action. They missed the block on the outside, and they are going to get the Bain, and it's Anthony Shafari on the sack.
Shafari did a great job of coming off the corner. That time they only had 2 down linemen, but look at Shafari's stutter step, and then he goes, and he really made a nice move, because what happened is Schreckengoss didn't see him as he came around that corner, and that's a huge, huge play off of the corner.
What a half of football he's having, huh? First touchdown of the year, receiving, sack. It's the stuff that these state championships are all about, Jim.
Guys stepping up big time in big situations. And
both coaches couldn't talk more highly about. I mean, we talked about Redbank lost their first game of the year. You know, this team was 1-2 after 3 games and never really got any kind of momentum throughout the course of the season with moving guys around. And both coaches talked about it was about, showing up for practice and people getting better at what we were trying to do, what we were getting across. It's a cliche, and it's, but you have to use it. It's a shame one of these 2 teams walks out of here and not a state champion, and that's always been the tough part of these games. What a great effort. I mean, they have fought an uphill battle in this game, have never led, but were never out of it.
They've done everything they needed to do, especially on the defensive side of the football.
Well, because of the sack, they're now faced with 3rd and 17. Again, that double coverage on guard lock up to the top of the formation. And we're going to see Bishop Guilfoyle use another timeout. So a chess game now is broken out here on the field at Hershey Park Stadium.
Once again, Mike, they're going double up top and double down low. So again, he's got to make sure people know their assignments, because, the thing of it is, Bain's getting better as the game goes on. He's getting better at realizing that the middle of the field has got to be the opening that he's going to need to look for. And that's going to be the key that they're talking about in that huddle right now.
Justin Wheeler, 11th year. Single A titles from 2014 to 2016, dominated this class. 3 straight years and a 47-0 record during that span. They went on to win 59 straight games, carrying it on into 2017. 4 District 6 titles, Coach of the Year 3 times, but said it earlier and say it again, this might be the best job that he and his staff have done. I mean, undefeated years. We talked about the caliber of guys he had when we showed those highlights, graduating from Harvard and Penn, and guys like Andrew Irwin and Evan Chadburn and Josh Tribus. This group has really accomplished something special, trying to hang on and make it a state championship year. 3rd down and 17 for the Bulldogs.
A lot of responsibility right now in Keezy Weather as he's in that safety position as well.
Better protection this time. Pass a little errant. Looking for Minnick, and will again come down to 4th down.
Once again, they did a nice job of getting him open over the middle, but just led him a little too much with that ball.
You mentioned Bain as a baseball guy. He threw a fastball there.
Yeah,
he put a little.
He's done that a few times.
A little mustard on that one. 4th down, they need to get the football to about the 23-yard line. Mishandled snap from center. Bain's going to be able to fire it downfield, but it's not going to be good enough. Picked off by the Marauders. It's number 14, Carson Keezy-Wetter, and the Marauders have 32 seconds to a state championship.
That's right. I said Keezy-Weather's going to be a big factor in this prevent defense, because he's playing in the middle of the field. See him back there, number 14. He's watching the quarterback. And then the thing of it is, as soon as he releases that ball, he comes up and jumps on top of that one. And that was a great job in the prevent defense by Keezy-Weather.
Junior, who was thrust into the starting quarterback position because of an injury to Hayden Garner. We wish Garner certainly the best, an all-state wide receiver. They were able to piece this thing together, and now it's going to be a matter of the victory formation as we go right down to the wire in the Single A championship game. Timeout has been called. Just can't describe the emotions now that are going on right there. And Blaine Gold, I mean, what can you say? What a job he and his staff have done. Close to 3 decades since a District 9 team has even played for a state championship. And really, you know, Jim, kind of this game was like their whole journey here. Their backs were to the wall this entire game.
Yeah, and they responded, and that's the thing you got to give them a ton of credit for. They were great in the response of that. They came out after halftime and did a whole different, you know, look at what they did from the first half.
Redbank is out of timeout, so it'll be one more snap and a championship for the Marauders. And there's the young man we were talking about. Good eye, guys. Hayden Garner able to get in there and I mean, it brings a tear to your eyes. Just the things that go on in these games. I mean, there's a young man missed his entire year, but on the field and in uniform to celebrate a state championship.
And he got one play in the final state championship play situation, and he makes the best of it with the knee. The best thing you can be in, that's victory formation, and he was in there.
Bishop Guilfoyle, the Marauders, back on top in the PIAA Single A football standings. 21-14 your final.
Slam dunk, home run, touchdown, goal! However you score, do it with PCN, bringing you sports coverage every season. Watch live and stream on demand. With coverage this good, you'll be a part of the action on cable and the PCN app. PCN brings you the PIAA championships in a variety of sports. From the field to the pool and the court to the track, PCN brings you the best scholastic teams competing on the state's biggest stage from all the best angles. With multiple cameras, instant replay, and professional commentary, we take high school sports and elevate them to new heights. Watch on cable and the PCN app. PCN, proud to bring Pennsylvania sports to you.
Teams and the combatants now. Congratulatory line. Great sportsmanship. Hard-fought football game, Jim. Let's start with some thoughts maybe on Redbank Valley. Obviously not what they were here, but again, it was an uphill battle. They never stopped playing, never stopped fighting. Will fall 21-14. That young man, 32 years old, third year as their head coach, did a tremendous job. Uncharted territory for the Bulldogs. They come up just a touch short.
Yeah, they do. And the thing of it is that, you know, they played a great second half. He has nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to hang their heads at. But that second half, they came out, they addressed everything they needed to do, which was pass blocking and running the football, and they did a great job with it.
Our player of the game is brought to you by Lebanon Valley College, and he is Carson Kiesewetter, the starting quarterback, free safety for the champion Marauders.
Yeah, he did everything, and he did everything well here. He managed the game so very, very well there. You see the 1-yard touchdown run, and you're going to see this jump pass. Great job to Shafari with that touchdown pass. That was a big key at that point in the ball game. Very big touchdown pass to throw right there. And it's just the ability to run with the football, to play what he needed to do. And then you knew sooner or later he was going to come up with the big play defensively, as in that last fourth down play comes up with the big INT.
Bates, player of the game is Carson Kiesewetter, the player of the game sponsored by Lebanon Valley College, listed number 1 in Pennsylvania for job placement. Lebanon Valley College will get your career ready. Visit the campus and find out why their students are so successful. Undergraduate and graduate programs available for traditional and adult learners. Visit www.lvc.edu. Congratulations to Carson Kiesewetter, and I think Let's listen in to public address announcer Bob Schollenberg.
District 9 Chairman Bob Tompkin, District 9 Football Chairman, presents the 2021 PIAA runner-up trophy to the Bulldogs of Redbank Valley. Congratulations. And now we ask Vincent Shafari, Patrick Riley, Colin Butler, please step forward. As Mr. Mike Chatti, private school representative to the PIAA board, you will now receive the 2021 PIAA Class A Championship Trophy. Great job to both teams. Fans, you have been tremendous supporting your schools. Players, you've made your school, your community proud. Congratulations.
Great run for Bishop Guilfoyle, Jim. We talked in our open about the boys basketball program, 4 titles. Had some great runs. Girls basketball, 6 championships. The last coming this past year. Also had one in 2010. This football program is the class of single A in the state of Pennsylvania. Back on top, their 4th title to go along with those 3 in a row from 2014, 15, and 16.
And I think that what you said, Mike, is true, that this might be Justin Wheeler's best coaching job of his career, and you got to give a lot of credit to him. 1-2 to start the season, but they end up on the stage with the championship trophy in Hershey.
Lots more football to come here tonight. We will have your 4A championship game. Bishop McDevitt, El Equipo will get underway at 7 o'clock. Steve Degler, Brandon Noble will have the call of that one. Jim and I will be back tomorrow afternoon, for the 2A final featuring Southern Columbia and Sarah Catholic. Certainly hope you enjoyed it. And on behalf of all of us here at PCN, for Jim Wills, I'm Mike Zambelli. Thanks for tuning in. Congratulations to the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders, champions in 2021.
PCN and the PIAA, bringing the best of high school athletic championships to you. PCN